Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ken's Counseling Couch. I am your very late and very fucking gay host, Ken Jennings. Not that one, the other one. And I'm switching mic sources because apparently I don't know how to do that right either. So that's the unfiltered versus the filtered audio. If you did hear that transition there, I did transition my audio, not my gender. Let's just make sure that we're straight on that one. And hopefully I can get this stupid fucking OBS thing to work for me at some point in the near future. Apparently, I don't understand the concept of how that works, and it's frustrating. So today we're running late, so we're gonna have a shorter stream because I do have things to do. I do have work to do. I was trying to juggle too many things at once on top of lack of sleep will definitely play a part in that too, as far as getting all these things set up and done and working correctly. But I do think it'll be interesting for next time because I was able to. I'm pretty confident that I've got my sources and stuff working properly for the minimum OBS stuff I'm trying to do, and I think the what is it the V VTuber avatar that I'm using, it's okay for being free and nothing fancy. I'll take it. But we're looking at having a fun stream next time, hopefully. I also have good news, sort of, in the area of super chat kind of thingies. So I did get my stream elements uh, financial part set up so I can accept tips and donations and all that. And I can grift as hard or not harder than Darkside Phil. I will put on my best gout reactions and obviously not pay my bills until I am in desperate need of money from my viewers. So I have to make sure it's authentic. You know how it works. So a little bit of humor to get the gay day started because I'm late and gay. But most importantly, it's going to be a tough one because this is where we're going to dive into a lot of that Sophie stuff. Oh, thank God. I just realized my computer restarted and I didn't save the changes to the timeline I was working on. Oh, that would have pissed me off to no end. So I have a program that lets me create timelines. It's actually really good for different things like legal stuff, documentation, and keeping track of stuff. People use it for novel writing, and it's pretty slick as far as that goes. So I used it to help create a timeline of at least a part of the timeline for the documents and stuff related to the Sophie case. Like I said, we're going to briefly go over some of this stuff. This is going to be more than a one time stream because there's a shit ton of documents, and B, I have a feeling that I'm going to give more commentary than I probably should because this is one of those things that frustrates me. So, what we'll do is we will start with a brief overview of the Sophie case while I pull up this window to show to you guys. And because none of the stuff that I actually prepped with the OBS stuff is needed today because I don't have time to dick with it now. I'm running too far behind. Also, Locals live chat is up and running. Like I said, I do have the ability to accept donations and stuff through Stream Elements. However, I thought I'd put it to you guys as to whether or not you think it's bad form or if it looks bad to accept tips and donations on this type of topic, on this type of stream. If you guys want the tips link, I'll put it out there for today. If not, I'll leave it behind the scenes. So I just don't want to come off really shitty, right? So right now, the on that topic, as far as donations goes, I do have one type of donation set up. It's through se.pay, the Stream Elements. It's the one that requires you to log in with like your YouTube account or whatever to prevent people from like donating and then like doing chargebacks. I'm still working on getting a stupid PayPal account set up that I can put in not my real name and all that stuff, which I'm close to finishing. I'm trying to do it the cheap and quick way. So I don't know why the notification said I was starting that late. I don't know if it's 4:55. Originally, I had set it for 12:55. Actually, it was originally 12:30, and then 12:55, and then it was supposed to be 1:30, and I just never got a chance to changing it. So I know it says 4:55, but no, I'm early. There will be more self-diagnosis in the future, but I got a message from someone on Twitter. One of our beloved viewers reached out to me. I won't drop his name without his permission, or her permission, or their permission. Again, I'm not assuming anyone's gender today. I'm not one of those people. I care about. I am laid and straight. There's no way for Ken to be gay. It's just an impossibility. We all understand that. We accept what that means. So, um, trying to log into my stupid fucking Twitter account real quick. So the reason I mention this is there has been some really interesting updates as it relates to Sophie. There's been some rumors that have been going around. Ken admits to getting triggered by some things that happened in that regard because uh, I had seen in Nick's chat not only the autism of the last couple days, but that there was an update I saw that there was an update posted by a different YouTuber who has talked about this case before, and the people in Nick's chat and Discord advised me to that this person was incorrect and usually had a very um, bad take on the topic. So I decided uh, to not necessarily believe the facts as they were stated through this person. I did listen to this person do an interview on uh, another YouTuber's channel discussing the case and the recent updates. And one of the statements they said triggered me so goddamn hard that I almost threw my fucking brand new expensive fucking phone through a wall. And I'm not a person who gets angry real easily. Like, I'm not a violent person. I'm not someone who has like anger outbursts. But just hearing that was in the context of everything that's been going on. Oh my God. I just wanted to. Oof. No, there's no danger or harm to this person. This is just feelings, and I dealt with them appropriately as not only learned through therapeutic techniques on my own, but also through therapeutic techniques I learned through my own therapist. So that expensive cell phone was purchased way prior uh, to the actual opening of my locals. Also, please make sure you follow me on locals. You don't have to pay for anything. Just follow me on locals. You can get uh, instant stream notifications, and you'll be able to learn when the stream goes up because YouTube sucks at it. So all you gotta do is follow me on kenscounselingcouch.locals.com. You can also follow me on Twitter and Discord. I'm trying to find the folder that has all my stupid social media on it. I also have officially, it is official, there is a Ken's Counseling Couch. Well, it's not a Ken's Counseling Couch. There is a Ken's Casting Couch OnlyFans. If you go to onlyfans.com/Ken's Casting Couch, there is, and I'm not pulling it up, but I am putting it on the ticker. There is an official Ken's Casting Couch OnlyFans. Why? Because why not? Is the thing. So that's gonna end up having. Oh, I need to actually edit that real quick. Okay. So that's gonna probably be like funny parody content. That's probably where I'll put uh fake porn images or Rule 34s of like Ken Jennings or Jeopardy or stuff like that. That I might find. I might commission one or two of the degenerates I know online to make something just to put up there for fun. I don't think I'll actually charge people for stuff, or I might put one or two things that are like worth it behind a paywall, but I'll mostly just put free shit up there. Like I said, it was just for fun. Yeah, it's just pics of black leather couches. That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna keep that. Um, all right, so let's. Also, as I was saying, the locals, it is a way to get instant notifications for the stream. You could see updates on anything I'm doing during the week. If I do something outside of my scheduled days, which my scheduled days will be changing coming soon. It will go to most likely either Fridays and Saturdays or Saturdays and Sundays. My wife's schedule is changing a bit, so that's going to change kind of when I stream. Um, in the that will likely increase the number of days I stream. I'm trying to do at least one day a week. I know last week I only got one in. If I'm able to justify to my wife that I'm actually making money off of this and I'm not just dicking around, then maybe one day I'd like to get to 3 days a week or 5 days a week. But, you know, whether that ever happens or not, I can never tell you. Like I said, love for it to happen. Very skeptical of it actually happening. Um, Not because I think I can't do it. I just don't. I don't know if. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards for me. I don't think I'm lucky enough to be someone like Nick, or being able to earn that kind of living on top of what I'm doing here. I do this for fun. All the other shit is for extra. So, where is the stupid? What the fuck is it? Data. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, so we go to here, and then you son of a bitch. That's right. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Anyway, like I said, either way, follow me on locals. Follow me on Twitter, Discord. You can check out my OnlyFans. I will go ahead and just so I could put it in the description and not lose it, I'm going to go ahead and put my tip page on in the comments there. You're not There is no obligation to tip. I'm mostly putting it in there so I can kind of keep it with my template, and because I'm trying to finish my template through another program that does dynamic updates of the text. That's actually pretty cool. And through that, I'll be able to have the actual video description update with like subscriber goals, uh, most recent person who donated, recent person who tipped or whatever, in the actual video description, which is pretty cool. It's another feature through Stream Elements, which I've actually been falling in love with compared to uh, Streamlabs. I've heard too much bad shit and seen too much complicated shit through Streamlabs to try even deal with that shit. So let me. All right, so let me go ahead and save that change. Again, don't feel like you have to donate today. I know this is a difficult topic. But let me go ahead and open up this window. Now, I've used my timeline program in a couple different ways to help kind of categorize uh, the people here. So let me see if I can manage entities. There's some color coding that goes with the system, which I think helps. So we'll start with the relationship view, and then we'll go into the details. All right. Let me pull up this window somehow. Share the screen. Make sure there's nothing else on that screen. All the porn's turned off for today. Yep, porn's gone. Minimized it. All right. We should be able to share this screen with minimal to no porn appearances. I won't share audio just in case. But here we go. So I will never show my feet because I actually have issues with my feet. One of my toes is actually, the bone is, it grew bent because I learned to walk on my toes. So the toe next to my big toe on each foot is kind of crooked a little bit. And the only way to fix it is to actually break it and reset it. My grandma had it done years ago before she died. And it was apparently very fucking painful. And she only had it done to one foot because of how painful it was. So there's part of the problem, is it's just too fucking painful. And I'm not having it done, and I'm not showing you guys my feet. You guys would need to actually pay a lot. If you get me to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, then yes, I'll show my feet on my OnlyFans for free. But we're almost to 400, so you're talking a very lofty goal to get there. So let's pull up the thing here. Can I zoom in on this any further? All right, let me know if this is too hard to see with my avatar showing up next to it. If it, okay, yeah, that definitely is. So let me go ahead and enlarge it. So let's do this. I have this here, and I can do the zoom tool, which is, where the fuck is the zoom tool? Okay, so, wow, okay, that's kind of that's a hard zoom. Let me fix the settings on that. So what this is the timeline view for the Sophie Long case. This is through a program called Aeon Timeline, or Aeon Timeline, however the fuck you pronounce it. I don't care for today. If it makes you happier. So let's do 500 by 500. Do 1.5 scale. Save. Okay. Let's try that zoom again. Okay, that's fucking spurging out a bit. Why is it doing that? Actually, I think I know why it's doing that. Is it because of the screen size? Uh, I think that's what it is. God damn it. Um, Hold on, let me fix something. God damn it. I hate this stupid fucking thing. I love this app to death, but I also hate this app too. Okay. Now let's try again and see if I have the same fucking problem. Oh, I know what it is. I'm definitely retarded. I am definitely retarded. Hey, you can do that, notice? I do not care. As much as I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, in the next, what? It's the July, so 31 days. So in the next 13 days or so, If you pulled that off, I would be shocked. Literally shocked. You can look at my feet. I promise you, you're not gonna like it. Uh, if that's what gets you off, though, man, there's no kink shaming on this channel. Uh, as we all know, the only kink shaming we've ever done, or Ken's ever done, the only kink shaming involves a lawyer with reduced oxygen capacity in an oxygen tank. That's the only kink shaming I've ever done. So, and I think a couple people here know that joke. So, does it have to do with the page? All right. This hopefully works now because you know what? It might be that I have to switch windows, which I don't like. Let me open up my stupid program that gives me alternate desktops. Fucking Christ, why is this so hard? I just got too much stuff on my desktop that I can't risk getting seen by anybody. So let me open up an alternative desktop. It's like alternative rock. You guys know how it works. So let me, which if anyone is interested, a really good program for multiple desktops is Dexpot, DEXPOT. I've actually had really good luck with it. I can create a bunch of different desktops. You can put different desktops all over the place. You can remove desktop icons. It's actually pretty nice. So let's clear these from this desktop. Icons. You'd think I would have planned for this, but no. That's too professional. See, this is why I will never get far with this. And that's not because I'm being a negative Nancy. It's because apparently I suck at this part. Wait, what the fuck did it do? Okay, that was weird. Let's try this. Go up and delete those. Why can I not remove the goddamn things from my own desktop? That's weird. Okay, there we go. Now let's try this again. Now I just have to assign all the goddamn windows to that desktop. You go to desktop 4. You go to desktop 4. And you guys go to the retard room, which is desktop meh. And I'll need you to on desktop 4. Same for you. Excuse me. And I can close that. Okay, let's go back to desktop 4 where all the cool kids hang out. And move things around a bit for this. So we will make you main display for now. And then let's try this again and see if it fucking works this time. I'm going to say no because my luck isn't that good. So round 2 of this not working. Or will it work? Maybe it will. Who knows? I think I'm closing in on success. All right. If this doesn't work, we'll try something else. I'll just screenshot it and make it bigger. But I don't want to do it that way because I'm fucking stubborn. Um, Where is... Oh my god, this is dumb. Alright, now let's try that again. See if it fucking works. Probably not, because my luck is awful. Alright. Alright, we're just gonna have to do this the old school way, because I'm about to lose my shit. Again. And I'm turning into a Tonka Saw stream. And God help me if I have that happen. If that happens, I'm going to Knoxville and I'm fighting somebody. So I'd probably get more crippled than I already am too. So it'd probably be funny to watch, to be honest. You guys probably would enjoy that. If you guys like seeing people get crippled, I can be your guy. Considering I'm technically crippled. Okay, quit announcing everything in your goddamn Discord's lost. You don't have to fucking share it with the world. That I'm potentially gonna dox my feet if you guys get me to 1,000 subs by the end of the month. No one cares that much. Or maybe they do. I don't fucking know. Just stop telling people. You said you wouldn't tell people about the other things that happened. And then I'll wake up and find pictures of me floating around the internet and I gotta explain to my goddamn mom where the hell they came from. Okay. I think this will work now. Let's try again. So you go back over here. And okay, this got autistic. And so share screen. Button. Okay. Here we go. So let me know if you guys can see these things, right? I've got them magnified. Let me know if it's actually readable or not with the zoom. If it's not, I can probably increase the size of the window somehow, or I can make it smaller to where it's actually readable. So is this actually readable to you guys or not so much? Because this is actually kind of difficult to figure out. I think what I'm gonna have to do is, okay, 360p readable. Okay, let me try one more thing. This is the last thing I wanted to do. So let's take display 2 and change resolution to be a lot fucking smaller. So there's less pixels and you guys can see the pixels. Does that one work? Oh god, it does not work. And then let's also try this. Now let's give it a go. First, let's fix this problem though. Okay, now I'm a bit happier now. I think this will work. Yes, this looks a lot better, I think. So let's get rid of this category too. All right, so this I think will work a lot better. So let's stop that, reshare this screen, so share. Okay, we're causing Kurt Eichenwald seizures. All right, now let's try again. All right, there we go. Is this better? I think this is better. I can read it in my tiny little preview window. Let me test it. Okay. I know I'm limited to 720p, guys, coming out of StreamYard because I'm not spending $50 a month yet on StreamYard, and the goal is to get myself off of StreamYard and to get myself off with StreamYard, which I do by streaming with you guys. So effectively, it's a segue and it's a party that somehow is responsible. Okay. So this part here is the, let let me pull up my TP thing. Let me hide this real quick. I have to configure one more stupid setting. Save that, and then there we go. Back to this. All right, so this is the relationship view for the timeline. So what this does is it shows you the events in the timeline here. So events are here, and so they're numbered in uh, order by time, so earliest to latest. So the first event of the documents I received, and so to preface that is I should say that I requested, and if you can still find the information on the court's website, because you had to put a name down when you requested the information. I did put down Ken Jennings when I requested the information. So there is in Texas, in the whatever court system this is, there is a record that says Ken Jennings requested the entire document record for Sophie Long. So there you go. So of all the documents I got, the earliest one starts on July 9th, 2020, which is right here. So that's the timeline itself. And then down here is sub events. So you can put a main event, and then you can make it a parent so it's related to it. So 4.1, 4.2, these are all within the same paperwork and the same motion. I just broke it out to help remember for my own reasons. And then over here is the person, and I'm going to feel really stupid because there's literally, I think, a zoom button right here. But I think that applies only to the timeline itself. So there's also a category that I hadn't finished working on, was a category of all the yeah, oh, it's up here. I was trying to make a category of all the different types of motions. So that way I could, if I was searching for it, I could like, oh, look, I'm looking for all the motions for contempt or all the motions for sanctions. But I hadn't finished actually doing that. So the amount of information on timeline is not complete. Right now, I only have up to 5 August because the main stuff I'm going to cover today falls within the paperwork we have here. So back to the thing that triggered the fuck out of me. Like I said, it was an interview a YouTuber did, or that they participated in. And they mentioned that the mom, so Sophie's mom, um, who's Kelly Long, either her or the interviewers or the host of the actual main show had mentioned that Sophie's mom has been doing everything right. And they also gave, and this is probably the part that pissed me off the most, they gave the implication that just because, and here's the thing is it's like a two-part problem, is just because, for example, Sophie's dad appears to be going through quite a lot right now, and some are saying that he's not mentally stable, and there's probably a decent argument for that, right? However, there's that but. That doesn't mean that Sophie's lying about what happened. This person was implying that just because Sophie's dad might be going through shit and mental health problems, that it's likely that she's fibbing or lying or not telling the truth, or she's telling a story. And, as I mentioned previously on this subject, children very rarely lie about sexual abuse. So the big S words coming out, here we go. We're getting into this real fucking fast, and I hate this topic. Even though I work with people with it because I'm comfortable with it, it doesn't mean I don't hate these discussions. Because when I look at something like the video with Sophie in it, and I see her bawling her eyes out because she just wants to not feel like she's not loved because someone's hurting her all the time. Yeah, it kind of tears you apart. It like very core parts of your soul. However, whatever damage it does to my soul, I hope that the people's whose lives I'm involved in through therapy or whatever, they get benefit from it. So that's fine with me to some degree. So here's what we're going to do now is let's go over some of the updates that have happened before we get into this. I just wanted to give you guys an overview of how this worked. And then the main timeline looks like this. So I can scroll back and forth on the timeline. I can see here first thing started um, on the 9th. When it gets over here, like I said, this is the main thing, and then the children items to it. It's collapsible, so I can collapse it. And then also I can click on that next to everything, and I can put filed by, who it was, the category. This is a court. So if it was a court order, I've marked it here, and then I attached the document to each one, so I could easily click on it and find it. Um, so Nixerby, Rackets, and I have both covered this at different points in time. Recently, I went through the original Sophie video that came out. That's the one where she's like in the car. Well, it starts out where she's like outside, and then it goes to her being in the car. And I'm analyzing it, and I see this kid talking, and I'm listening to what she's saying, and the way it's described doesn't come off like an adult story unless you are very well. And now let's be fair. So let me take a very devil advocate's position right now. From the assumption of, say, you have a person who has a good understanding of childhood development, how children structure language, how they say things, how they describe things. Like someone, say, like me, or someone who works with kids, or someone who works in the education system and could teach a kid to make a report like that, then I think you could technically teach them and coach them to give an answer that sounds legitimate. But that's not one, you could usually tell even if it's coached that it's being coached. Two, there'll still be inconsistencies. And even if the story changes, that doesn't mean it's not true. I also saved some links on different research that's been done that discusses child sexual abuse and the likelihood of reports from children being false or being made up. So, like, I can back up a lot of this shit if I need to. Obviously, I don't really want to, but, because it's still a shitty thing to have to go and talk about. But we can do that if we need to, if people do not understand the concept and don't understand that it's possible for children to be telling the truth, even if the story does change a bit or evolve because maybe they're uh, understanding the situation a little bit better. So where the fuck is it? I thought I saved it in this browser. I guess it's in a different browser. I think I did. Okay. I'm trying to transition shit from my phone to my desktop, and it's all complicated. So pull up the information that has come out recently about Sophie. And like I said, this shit is going to be not fun. So I'm going to hide the screen for a minute while I pull up the right browser window for this because I got to pull up a guest window. It's been consistently the safest way for me to share stuff. So, all right. So let's pull this up. So there's a couple different names that are important in this process, and we'll go through those real quick too. So actually, let's bring back up the timeline because I think I've got the person's list on here. Timeline. I know there's a way to view the stupid name. So like I said, there's several different people on this involved in this case. The main person will be the plaintiff and the respondent, or the petitioner and respondent. So I came for the analysis. I stay for the rage. Oh, the rage is going to get pretty hot and heavy because once I start reading this stuff, I'm going to probably lose my shit again. So real quick, let me pull back up the person view. So I think I can group by person, group by category. Is there not a way to make this? So there's 4 main parties to this that matter at the moment. So ignore the fact that I fucked up the sorting. So you have Michael Long, who is the father. I don't know if you could see the hover right there that's popping up. You have Michael Long, the father. You have Kelly Long, the mother. You have Sophie Long, who's the child. We'll get to this probably next stream because I think it's further along. Rachel Lee, who's the amicus attorney, who is the friend of the court, or she's there to do an analysis for and talk to Sophie and stuff like that. And then there's also the judge residing, so the court. There's another person I have yet to add because they're not technically a document filer, but Courtney Chalmers is was the partner. I don't remember if they were engaged or married or whatever, but she is the partner of Michael Long. So, because one of the things we're going to be reading is her affidavit. She's also been very active on social media on this topic. Now, this is where we're going to get into this whole topic. And this is where shit starts to go south. I'm going to read this out loud. So even though it's on screen for everyone to read, I will read it to go through it. This is also from a group that has been dedicated and run by, I think, Courtney. There's also been some updates regarding between Courtney and Michael. I know that their relationship has changed. I know there was some infidelity in their relationship that happened within the last 6 to 10 months. A lot of people stopped covering the case because of it. Regardless of that, I don't care about that. Either way, I will say props to Courtney for staying involved, even with the fact that she might be leaving. Her partner cheated or whatever potentially, and she's trying to still advocate for this child. And I know that's a hard thing to do. I know it's a hard thing to watch. Trying to see if there's any other updates on this topic. There's also a Facebook page for anyone interested in keeping up with it. Let's see. Actually, I don't think Courtney runs this. She has either posted on her personal Facebook that has been reshared to this, and one of the things I do want to touch on before we actually dig into this a bit is the court system fucked this case up. This should never have gotten to the public eye, ever. And also, the other thing that pisses me off too is that because the dad decides to go on social media and share the videos of what his daughter is making statements about, and all this shit that he's trying to deal with as a father in this case about custody between him and the mom. And the judge decides after it goes public to try and silence everybody. There's a whole stream Nick did on this where they tried to silence people from talking about this. And that was fucking disgusting. They tried to silence this dude's First Amendment rights to talk about his daughter. And oh my God. There's also another thing too I have not had the chance to listen to. I found it on YouTube by complete accident. There's a psychiatrist who followed this case, and this is one of the things that I wanted to put to you guys. Is I came across this psychiatrist who um has been, what is it? What's the word? He was following the case. He has followed the case, and his his thoughts on it are that Sophie has been coached, or Sophie has been. Uh, I think that's the impression I got. Let me see if I can find my playlist that has it, because he did several videos on it. They're longer videos, but I think they might be worth actually going through and listening to him talk about, just to see, what his take is on it, and how he perceives it, because he is a child. I think he says he's a child psychologist or I think he's a child psychiatrist. Let me see if I can pull up his stuff. Where's video number 1? Okay, so here we go. I think I found it. All right. So yeah, he talks about this. I have not had a chance to, like I said, listen to it. I think it has the potential to be interesting. Like the first video is 40 minutes, because they're like longer videos and slash streams, I think. Um, there's another video that's like talking about. I know there was discussion about the GoFundMe stuff that happened at the time, about whether or not that was legitimate. I'm trying to find any comments he might have put in text in these actual uh, video streams, because I am at odds to what his statements are. Yes, it's Psych Guy. Yes, Psych Guy is the guy who did it. I started listening to the first one, but I have been juggling quite a bit. And I don't know what his eventual take on it is, and I don't trust the comments enough. Um, I also found a couple other videos sort of relating that I have a playlist on. I've been meaning to go back and rewatch the interviews that Michael did with 10 to Life and stuff like that, to try and get an impression on him, because I think that's just as important. But I don't know if you guys think it would be interesting to go through and listen to that video, or those videos of him, after we do our own. I mean, we did our own analysis of the video of the Sophie video, and I'm wondering if it would be interesting to do an analysis of Psych Guy's video on this topic, and see how we interpret his interpretation of it, whether I agree with it or not, what you guys think of our disagreement. And I'm, like I said, I'm open to be proven wrong, but I feel comfortable betting my career. I would bet my career on this, because her statements come out at like the right times. They come out at the right level of emotional, you know, stress and difficulty. She withholds until it's necessary. She doesn't just come out and say, my daddy raped me, or my blah blah, my mom's boyfriend raped me, whatever, right? It's not like right out the gate. It goes from this very vague thing to it evolves, because as it evolves, you see her get more uncomfortable and more uncomfortable and more scared and more afraid. Like that to me comes off as genuine, not necessarily coach. That's hard to coach to a 9-year-old. So I will, let me see if I can do this. I know some YouTubers have that whole fucking poll option now. Let me see if I actually have that feature. If I do, I'll put it to a poll. Holy shit, I'm over 400 subscribers. Thank you, Lost, for helping me cross that. I still think your idea of getting my feet by the end of the month is improbable. Let's see here. Go to the stream. Let me see if I can put a poll up. So I'll put a poll up to you guys if I can. And if I can, I will do that real quick. How do I do that? So like that. Oh, god damn it. I think there's a way to do it. Fix that. Actually, let me change the save that. Okay. Hop out. Okay. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Should I do a stream series reviewing the psych guy videos of Sophie? Yes and no is the options. So I'm going to ask you guys, let me know. There's a fancy new poll feature that I've learned exists now, which is actually kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. So what's that look like on this side? Okay, I see how it works. So go ahead and when you guys get a chance, take that poll. I'll leave it up for a few minutes and then I'll take it down. So this means I need to leave this chat thingy open somehow to be able to offer polls to you guys because that's an extra window to keep up. God damn it. So it's whatever. I'll figure out a way to make it work for future streams. No one wants to see my feet. I can't use straw poll, but I like the ability to I don't necessarily want to watch the video again. I haven't watched all the Psych Guys videos. But I don't necessarily want to watch the Sophie video again. It's not a desire. It's not like, oh God, I want to watch the Sophie video because this, and that, right? That is not close to the truth at all. I want to rewatch those videos if necessary to, if say Psych Guy and I disagree on different parts of this analysis, that I can go, well, hey, Psych Guy, maybe you're wrong about this, or maybe you should think about this instead. I'm not saying Psych Guy's wrong. I'm not saying he's completely incorrect or anything. I don't know. I really want to see what his analysis of this idea is, of this situation is, because he's definitely got, the medical background, being a psychiatrist, so he's got the med school. He's got another perspective than just mine. He's technically higher licensed than I am, which I'm fine with. I get it. I'm with my license and it is what it is. But it's not that I want to watch it again. I take no joy in watching that video. If you listen to my last stream or watch my last stream, I cried in the middle of it. I had to stop what I was doing to actually take a minute to pause. Because one, I thought I heard Sophie say something that was awful. And to me, right there is like, oh my God. And two, there's just no joy in this. There's no joy in it. But in this field I work in, sometimes I have to do shit like this. Like, you have to have those conversations with kids or with adults, and you have to sometimes relive it and you have to bring it up. No one ever said it was fun, man. No one ever said it was fun. But so let's go through, and I'm checking the Facebook page for any more updates because I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. So here's what happened. Is I'm gonna pull up this in a moment, but can I pull up this on Facebook without having to join this group? Because I would rather not pull up my Facebook yet. All right. As much as I love you guys, I don't want you on my Facebook. And as much as I don't really have any concerns about like anyone from Kiwi fucking with me or whatever, I cannot risk it. I've already had Ron try to come after me for my job, and it's just a risk I cannot take. I love my job too much, and I don't want to risk losing that because of people on the internet. So, all right, let's see if I can pull this up without. I also think I started to create a Ken's Counseling Couch Facebook page. A, just as another avenue to share stuff, and B, uh, not only do that, share updates, but also be able to join groups like this. Yeah, the see, I think that's the fucking shit. It's making me do that. So let's create. All right, let me make a fucking Facebook page real quick. Wait, how do I open my Facebook pages? Because I think I already created one. Yo, how the hell did I do that then? Yeah, if anyone knows a way to get around having to uh without having to use fucking a Facebook account to look at someone's Facebook or to look at these Facebook pages, I would really appreciate that right now because I am pissed off that I can't. Page. Um, this is fucking ridiculous. I just did that bitch the other day too. No, that's not it. Okay, this is frustrating. Mm-hmm. Pages. How do I log in with it though? Anyway, fuck this. Okay. All right. Um, I need to create a fake fucking Facebook account real quick. Which I hate the fact that I have to do this, but whatever. Because there are a couple interesting updates that are. Oh, oh, that's the email. Oh, my bad. Okay, let's sign up for Facebook and be part of the Cool Kids Club, and then let's actually go through this. So while I'm trying to do this, I will give you the text and voice version of this. So let me go back to pulling that up on my phone, and I'll just read it off my phone because I do have access to it on my phone. All right. So go back to motherfucker. I'm going to break shit. Nope. Back that ass up. All right. There we go. So basically, what happened is part of the case that Michael is dealing with right now regarding Sophie is he was required to undergo a psychological evaluation. I'm assuming from what I got from both the different uh, YouTubers and shit on this and the kind of somewhat authoritative sources. Also, thanks to a person in Nick's Discord that I've talked to on the back end on a few occasions, I am trying to get in touch with the actual true authoritative source on this. And there's someone who has close connections to the actual information. So I will be doing my best to um, maybe talk to them and maybe get them on the show. No guarantees at all, uh, but I will do my best. I can promise you that. Assuming I can, that would be fucking awesome. This is a very complex case. What the fuck do you mean? That's weird. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, let's try this and actually log into Facebook like a grown adult. So Michael was forced to by the court to do a psychological evaluation. Like I said, the long and short of it comes down to it seems that Michael was receiving a not so bueno um, review of his uh, psychological status. As to what was in that evaluation, I have no idea. I have not seen enough of Michael's interviews and interactions with him to feel confident to give him a more accurate assessment based on his behavior. It's possible based on the way he's acted in the past. Um, he may be struggling with some different things, and that makes sense, right? Because of how whatever he's dealing with. And that's nothing to shame him about, right? I don't shame people because they have mental health issues. You know, if someone has a mental health issue, their goal is to get them help. Same for what is this? Hmm. All right, so here's what's going on. Uh, I stumbled across something, and I'm double checking right now. Is I think this is the person that the person I was talking to said was the authoritative source. Okay, yes, this is the person who was informed to me to be the authoritative source on this information, and they have an update on uh, on Sophie from a detective involved in the case. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch that real quick. But while I do that, I'm gonna finish updating you guys on the case. So Michael was receiving allegedly received a bad psych eval. Because of that, um, it seems like he grabbed Sophie and took off. He was supposed to, according to the court, turn Sophie over to her aunt for custody in the meantime, and that did not happen. Obviously, uh, that is not good. Not only is it bad for multiple reasons, it's bad because this does not help Sophie in the slightest. It makes it worse for Dad to ever get custody back because he just fled with a child. He just technically kidnapped a child, right? So what we'll do real quick is we'll read the details from Courtney, who is again one of the close sources. We'll listen to this brief discussion. It's like less than 2 minutes from this source. I think his name's Will, and then we will jump into these documents real quick. We're gonna have to blow through some of them pretty quick. Some of them are boring and don't really matter, so we'll obviously just get rid of those like they don't matter. So back to there. There we go. Say, hey, Pop. Word Bear says, hey, Papa Nan, just won't be able to stay long. Kids in pain hurts my heart too much. And I only want to sunset the abusers. I understand that. If you can't stick along for the ride, don't. I don't want anyone to partake in this if they don't want to. This is one of those streams where uh, it will bring you down. I've done streams like this. I've done discussions like this or debates, and it's been nothing but like a drain on my soul. But it's my decision to do so, and it is what it is. So can't really blame anyone but myself on that. So, all right. So Amethyst says Will is a personal friend of Michael and has not been objective on this case at all. So Amethyst, if I may ask, have you watched the Will videos, or when you say he's not been objective, is he not objective against Michael in Sophie's accusations, or is he more not objective in line with Sophie's accusations and Michael's side of it? So that way I can kind of weigh it the opposite direction. Because you could still have the information be from a good source, even if it's biased a bit, or even if it's biased strongly. The information itself might be accurate, but their opinions on it might. When you say yes, is it leaning towards Michael or leaning away? He has supported Michael. Okay. So, all right. I will take that with a grain of salt then. I still will like to have that discussion with him because he does have that access. Also, if I may ask Amethyst, how do you know? I'm assuming you said yes to that you've been listening in on Will's updates and stuff, or yes, you've watched his videos. If not, please correct me in the chat. But anyone who has authoritative sources on it, I would love to talk to them because it's very difficult to get in touch with people. I'm happy to talk to both sides of the spectrum here, but I will say that, even if I were to talk to someone on Mom's side, hearing that other YouTubers say that Mom's done everything right, I will disagree with that, because a good mother, if her child is making accusations that your partner is abusing them, will do what they can to distance themselves until they can prove otherwise. Right. I don't care how much you love your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I don't care what kind of relationship you have. Your child comes back with that, then you should really think long and hard about what the next steps in your life are. Because one, it's going to go really bad if that gets to CPS, and it should. If a child's making accusations of that, as much as I hate CPS and DCF and those systems and those departments, it's fucking awful as it is, and how little accusations can rip a family apart. Oh my God, do you sometimes need them? I don't like that they have to exist in some cases. Trust me, I wish they didn't. But you sometimes need to have them, and sometimes you need to involve them in whatever the fuck is going on, because they're the people who actually uh, can get you access to help. Whether, one of the things I tell parents that about like DCF, CPS, is even if you get involved with them, one, it doesn't necessarily mean your kids are getting taken away. Two, it's actually an opportunity to get access to a fuckload of resources. Like, you can get therapy for free, group drug treatment and counseling. All that shit's free the moment you get involved with the state, because the state covers the dime. They pay every dime of it. You don't pay for shit basically at that point. There are downsides to that, but they have been helpful. Okay, so objective yourself was false narrative about the multiple. Okay, so how was that proven false, Amethyst? I would really like to know because I remember that accusation. And then the case kind of closed off from there, and I wasn't able to follow it. If there's a really good, like, written source to follow for for updates on this that's mostly neutral, or that I can get caught back up truly on, that would be great. I know the case roughly from the initiation of the court proceedings that I have till roughly the moment it went silent. After that, I don't have much. I have a little tiny bit about what happened recently. Outside that, I don't have much at all. Also, take everything you see or hear with a grain of salt. There will be um, obviously bias coming from all parties here. That's just because it is what it is. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't believe or trust some of the things they have to say. They may still be providing, critical or helpful information. But just as anything else, make sure you try and get information from, multiple sources. Verify it. Definitely confirm, that this is what it is or it's not what it's not before you kind of lay that out there, because it has the potential to, to become very difficult real fast, right? And become very problematic real quick. So let's see. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, so the case was closed back in November. So when you say the case was closed, do you mean like the criminal case that was investigating that, or the initial case that was dealing with the custody and everything? Because it sounds like the custody is ongoing, because obviously there's been a recent court order that I have the part of the document for, um, that talks about conservatorship and um, other things like that. So also, if you actually have a good bit of information and you're willing to come on, Amethyst, I can get you an invite to the show. I'll drop it in chat. Okay, the case was closed back in November. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for the information. That helps me too. Uh, if Michael was, and again, I don't know any of the specifics on whatever Michael has been alleged to have from a psychiatric. I wouldn't say criminal case. I meant like criminal investigation. I kind of worded it wrong. I've not really slept well in several days again. That's pretty common for me if you ever have watched my show. I suck at sleeping properly. So here's what we'll do is I'll go over Courtney's Facebook post real quick, and then I will go over the Texas Department of Public Safety missing persons details, the real quick court thing from recently, and then I will dig into the first parts of the court documents. So we got about an hour or so left in the show, but I'm going to do my best to get it going and keep this hot. Also, Amethyst says, I don't feel comfortable speaking on a panel, but there are plenty of folks more knowledgeable than me that probably would be. Try Crime Stalker. She's fairly objective. That's fine. If you change your mind, you're welcome to come on. As I tell anyone, if you're coming on here, my goal isn't to be hostile or target anyone. Just like as you've seen now, you are putting out information that counters the information I have. I have no problem being wrong. In fact, being wrong is part of my job. I have to be wrong in a lot of cases because that's how I help people. So it doesn't necessarily hurt me. If you're worried about it being an aggressive interaction, then they'll cover that. If it's more just public speaking, I understand that as well. It takes a while to get used to doing that. But thank you for the information you have shared today. It is appreciated. It has been very helpful. If anyone else listening or watching does have information and would like to pop on today to help update me, please do. So I can drop the link in chat if need be. So also let's go ahead and jump into this because I got to burn through some of this today because tomorrow we're going to be back in it and we're going to have to go through quite a bit of documents. Also, I have a lot of work to do today before the end of the day, and our office is dealing with some relocation stuff, and it's a stressful week or two coming up. So I want to make sure I get in as much information as I can today. So let's stop the screen, share that, share audio because I'll probably need to share audio. Wait, hold on. Nope. I remember this. I did this last time. I fucked up. Don't share audio now. I'll share audio when it comes to the Chrome tab. Aha. I saved myself from fucking up. You guys should be proud of me. All right. So let's do this. I'm zoomed in to 300%. There should. Aunt and maternal grandmother supposed to have the child right now. I know the aunt is. I did see that. I do know that regardless, Michael is not supposed to be in custody of the child. If you end up in a situation like this, and this is not legal advice, obviously, because I'm not a fucking lawyer. You need to not violate a court order. It's pretty much common advice. As much as you may hate it, as much as you may not like it, your best bet is to follow that court order. Have your lawyer or people involved in the case help you get the fuck out of it because you're not helping yourself by breaking the law effectively, right? Again, not legal advice, just kind of some personal recommendations, right? I don't want to see anyone end up having their own missing persons or shit like that happen. So, where is. Okay. All right. Let's do that real quick. And see. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I think I got everything I need right now. Yeah, so I know that he was about to lose custody, but Amethyst, I'm sure if you're familiar with the case, you've seen the video of everything that happened, right? I don't know how recently you jumped in the stream or if you've ever watched any of my other videos. Either way, thank you for watching. Thanks everybody for watching today. I don't know if you've watched that video or not. I would appreciate your input or thoughts on the initial video, the one with Sophie being outside initially and then being in the car talking to grandma and mom and why she doesn't want to go. My read of that from my professional perspective and standpoint, and if you're not familiar with who I am, any new people listening, I am a counselor. I do therapy with people. I've got my master's degree. Oh, yes. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to the rewatch. Thank you for watching to begin with and participating. Your information has been helpful. I do try to do my best to balance. It has been difficult to, and I've noticed initially too that 10 to Life was biasing a little bit. I will take, any information, is not the main sole unbiased authoritative source. Even the documents filed to the court, they're clearly going to have bias in them. I take it for what I see as a counselor. Being a therapist, and when I see shit like the Sophie video, that rings to me so true that if my daughter or my son or my niece or my nephew or something like that came to me like that, I would have no doubt in the world something's going on. They reacted the exact same way. I would trust them to the ends of the earth because that doesn't come off to me as being, harmful. So let's go ahead and start with this first thing. So the first part here is, again, on the Find Sophie page here on Facebook. It is by Courtney. Actually, let me fix something real quick to make this a bit easier on myself. If I go like this, that, there we go. Okay, now that's a bit easier because now I can scroll. Perfect. Okay, so let's start with this. So back to why is this needs to collapse. There we go. All right. So we're starting with Courtney. So like I said, Courtney is the partner / ex-partner of Michael. And I don't know their current relationship status. So Courtney says, this was posted a couple days ago, I think. So first, I would like to thank you all for your dedication to the kids and their well-being. I would like to clear some things up and put to end the rumors so we can focus on the one thing that matters, a child's safety. I think we can all agree on that. Number one, this is from Courtney again. I'm not under a gag order, and I've never been served with papers or told verbally. 2, Sophie is missing. So this is important. So Sophie has gone missing officially as of, I think, roughly the day of that court order. So Sophie's missing, guys. This is important. We're going to go over that missing persons report too. So the orders were issued to Michael on Wednesday, July 7th, 2021, to have her given to a family member I know that Sophie has told me herself she loves and trusts. This here too. This is good. I'm happy with that she was willing to go to that person and she didn't have an issue with it, because that is part of the problem. Is Sophie has been in the custody of people that she hasn't felt comfortable with, regardless of the parent. She was not going back to her mother's home at this point. Michael left the courthouse and officials were sent to retrieve Sophie, but they were gone already. Number 3, sheriffs are actively searching for Michael, so that's a big deal. And that's not good. Number 4, let's scroll down. Oh, shit, wrong button. Where's the button that lets me wipe? Okay. Michael's psyche eval did not come back favorably, and Sophie is not in a stable place with him or the people he may be surrounding her with while they avoid court orders here in Texas. Number 5, my mother-in-law, Janine Long, was questioned by those involved with the case / law enforcement and claims she has no knowledge of where Sophie, Michael, or my father-in-law, John Long, are. Okay. Number 6, John and Janine Long had deleted their Facebook profiles. Janine yesterday and John today. Number 7, again, this was a few days ago. Number 7, given concerning things said by Michael, please do not approach them or post where they are on social media if you see them or know where they are. Please contact, and then we resume here. Please contact law enforcement so they can work with the sheriffs here in Texas. Number 8, here we go. In regards to alert or official statement from law enforcement, I have been asking the same questions to the representative of the court that I've been in touch with since Thursday. Number 9, I can't give any more concrete specifics on the situation at this time. I could probably guess reasons for that. Number 10, please do not pollute genuine information. God damn it. Please do not pollute genuine information with speculation and rumors. This will only make it harder to find Sophie. Michael has been threatening to run with her for some time now. All officials involved are aware of the threats to stay on the run permanently and are taking the situation seriously. At least they assure me they are doing everything they can to recover her safely. I would hope they are. Please read this carefully. Again, discretion is really important if you have reliable knowledge of Sophie's location. We don't need to place anyone in situations that aren't safe by sending people who are not in law enforcement their way. Thank you. And then that was the end of that. There were 88 comments when this screenshot was taken. There's way more actually now on the Facebook page. So that is from Courtney, Michael's wife / ex-wife. I don't remember exactly. So this is the missing persons report by the Texas Department of Public Safety. So this is, and actually, it's probably too late now, but that's not what I was trying to do. So I'll cover that, and then if I need to, I can censor that. Try and protect her privacy to some degree, as much as it's fucking ruined at this point, unfortunately. And that's one of the reasons I actually hate talking about this, is the fact that, well, I've got to talk about personal details of Sophie's life, and she's a fucking child. So Sophie Long, case type voluntary family induction. Sophie's 5 foot. She was born in 2010 in September. Blue eyes, white hair. Blue eyes, race white, hair blonde, sex female, 95 pounds, age 10. Last seen in Seguin, Texas, Guadalupe. She's missing from Texas and was last seen on the 12th of July. That was 6 days ago, guys. So please really, really focus on, if you have information, please provide it to the proper authorities. It's been 6 days, apparently, since Sophie was seen. So get any updated information you have to the proper authorities in Texas. The circumstances of this case: missing juvenile is believed to be with her non-custodial parent, Michael Long, and may be en route to Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Mexico, or Argentina. Michael Long is possibly driving an off-white 2010 Ford Edge SUV or a gray van with blacked out windows, a NRA sticker, and a black rack on top. Missing juvenile has a small burn mark on one of her arms. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's just a scar or if it's actually a recent burn that is pertinent to the situation. So, but that is part of it. And then I guess I can scroll down enough to clear the window. And then the abductor companion is Michael Long. And then that's a photo of Michael. Connor says it's hard to blame him for the flight, though it's made things way harder going forward. Yes, that's absolutely correct. As much as you hate the court system and the shit they do and the frustrations they bring with it and why it's awful, don't flee with your child. Ever. I'm sure there's rare exceptions to that rule, but you will only make the shit harder on yourself moving forward. There's no way that you can just pick back up where you left off if you take off. Pending verifiable, credible death threats that the police can't protect you from, I would think. And even then, you're still talking about very, very likely to have tinfoil hatty looks at you from people in the media and from people involved in this shit and from the police. Yeah, don't flee. Talk to the proper people. Again, Michael is alleged to be going to one of these places. I know these are all places located in America, right? We've essentially taken over the world at this point. That's a whole nother topic. But so I got to take the screen down for a moment while I check another picture just to make sure I have the right one up. Okay, next one is these are findings of the court from recent. So, and I know it's zoomed in and pixelated to hell and back. Too bad. So this involves the recent findings of the court post, I think, his psychiatric evaluation. The court finds that Michael Long has engaged in a knowing or intentional pattern of behavior that has interfered with the relationship between Sophie and Kelly Long, so the mother. The court finds Michael Long has engaged in a pattern of behavior that has interfered with the reunification counseling between Sophie and her mom that was ordered by this court on or about October 2nd, 2020. So this was after the case closed. Why the fuck is it doing that? Okay, that's better. We'll just use the red one. Which Michael Long agreed was in the best interest of Sophie. So he agreed to that in October, but he's fleeing now, which is interesting, which I could understand if he feels it's biased, but necessarily shouldn't. The court finds, based on the evidence presented, Allowing the child, Sophie, to remain in the care of Michael Long would constitute an immediate and substantial danger to the child's physical health and or emotional and psychological well-being. That's actually an interesting statement. Texas. Let me see if I can find what that. Immediate and danger. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can find the law that okay. Let's see here. Okay, so this is, I guess, part of the family code under Title 5, Subtitle E, Chapter 262 in Texas, labeled Procedures in Suit by Government Entity to Protect the Health and Safety of a Child, Subchapter A, General Provisions. So there are a couple sentences that involve this specific statement, constitute an immediate and substantial danger to the child's health. So the first part is standard, let's see here. Uh, hmm. I'm curious here. So the way this language of this is worded is interesting to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this over here, and we'll come back to that. So sorry, didn't mean to. I don't know Colonel Crayon, but I think I want to talk to Nick about it. I have had trouble getting in touch with him. I know he's been busy and stuff like that. But let's read the rest of this, and then I want to go into this subchapter of Texas law and read up about it a bit because it's a little interesting to me the way that's worded. Also, I didn't do this. This was already there. It's to block out shit. Let's see. But yeah, this phrasing right here, this is put in on, God damn it. Okay. This is put in on purpose because it's coming from a section of the law dealing with victims of sexual abuse, right? So that in itself to me is a hint whether or not, God damn it. It helps if I could draw. I draw probably worse than Sophie does or any other. Oh my God, fuck this. I'm done. Okay, I'm just done drawing for now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sparking out, I promise. The court finds that it is in the best interest of Sophie that she be removed from the care of Michael for a period of at least 90 days. See, that isn't necessarily the worst thing. Right, there we go. Now I get the right size. So this is good because it would give dad in the, say, a case of he's dealing with his own psychological problems, to be able to start treating them to get the help he needs to work through them, all that fun and good shit. Because if he's too focused about being in the care of Sophie, taking care of her, worried about her safety, and wants to try and get her back as soon as possible, then he's not going to focus on his own treatment. There is actually a purpose for that. Similar to if you're in the military and you have like a suicide attempt or something like that, and they have to pull your clearance, you have to wait at least 30 days before you can go back to your unit. Even if you're better, close to immediate, and better being a relative term, they'll still want you to wait to go back. And that's not meant to be a punishment. It's meant so you can take care of yourself first versus trying to, stay, you know, trying to get back to the mission, trying to get back to work. It's very easy to get stuck in that. Let's see. So number 4 again. Okay, court typo. That's funny. That's actually kind of funny. Court finds it's in the best interest of Sophie that she be temporarily placed in the sole possession. Another interesting statement. Right there. It's another interesting statement. Of the child's maternal aunt, blank, and if necessary, in temporary possession of the child's maternal grandmother, blank. The court finds it's in the best interest of Sophie and her brothers that Michael Long have no contact with them for a period of at least 90 days. The court finds it's in her best interest that she and Kelly Long participate in a reunification therapy program. Okay, that's interesting. So I don't know how mom has been interacted since the last time I've had updates on this case. Truly updates, updates that don't come from people, like court documents. Like this is one of them. And then I think there we go. So that was number 6. And then for the conservatorship of the 2 siblings, not Sophie, it's ordered that Kelly Long is appointed temporary sole managing conservator and Michael Long is appointed temporary possessory conservator of the following children. It is ordered that all times Kelly Long, as a parent temporarily sole managing the conservator, shall have the following rights. And then that's all the screenshot I have because this is involving her siblings. The above was involving Sophie, right? So that's an interesting development, right? As far as the situation goes. And the Texas law that I was talking about, right? So god damn it. All right. All right. Let me see if I can get this in PDF form because I much prefer PDFs when dealing with fucking documents. No, I can't, but I could probably print the PDF. Yes, I can. Thank God. All right. So let's do that. Texas law thingy. So I'm going to open that up and we're going to go through this real quick because I want to know what you guys think about it because I think it's interesting in the fact that, oh, motherfucker. What do you mean it's open by? God damn it. Wasn't open in this one though. Why is it? Okay. Open the fucking file. Why is this so difficult? I don't understand. Oh, yeah. Probably good that my screen's off because that would have been really bad. Open. Cancel. Downloads. There we go. At this point, I just need a separate goddamn user account for my streaming stuff. Yes. All pages. All right. I've got my Adobe converting that to. Yes, I am not a boomer, actually. I don't think you guys actually know how old I am. I don't think I've ever disclosed that, which is interesting. I will do what I want. You will not tell me what to do, and I am trying to get work done. Oh my god, get work done over here. Stop telling me what to do. All right. So while that goes on, let's try this for size. This is that 2-minute video I mentioned. Oh Christ, come on. There we go. Can I do that without doxing myself? Okay. So this is by Will, also known as the Glare on YouTube. He states it's an update from a detective on the case. Please, God, no personal information show. Hide my bookmarks bar. Get rid of all that porn. All the porn tabs themselves are closed. Let's see. Adam says 25 to 30. Connor says early 30s. I'll say 33. Stormcoast says 30 to 35 if. I think, let's see. All right, so let's see here. Let me get this tab up. And we'll watch this 2-minute video by the guy talking about this case. Like I said, his name's Will, also known as a Glare. So I'll close that and put you here. All right. Baum says over 9,000. Carl says late 30s, early 40s. All right, so stop that screen, share, home tab, share audio. And so let's do this. So this is the update. Also, the answer for my age technically would be
I know how to count all the way to 55.
oh shit. Okay, boomer moment, boomer moment. Okay, wrong video, my bad. Let's see, where's the right tab there? God damn it. I totally blame Gabe on this one. That's Gabe's fault. Let's see here. Video file or tab, share audio. Okay. There we go. That totally didn't happen. I know what you guys are talking about. If you guys saw anything that wasn't a video by Will, then you guys are totally seeing shit. Yeah, nothing like that happened. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. So don't be fucking putting. All right. So this guy's audio is worse than. Gabe says I'll take that. Okay. You guys are kind of close-ish. I'll give you that. I'm not as young as your low end, Adams, because I couldn't have done all the things I've done in my life and be that old. But I'm not that old on your high end either. So y'all have narrowed it down quite a bit. I guess I just sound that way, or I guess my activities and OnlyFans kind of give that away. I don't know. All right, so let's watch this video. Okay, the actual video. I'm not fucking around this time. Or maybe I am. Let's do quick banner. 14. Let's do this. Will. Okay. I'm gonna add this to the thing just to help people who pop in. Actually, do that and then show. Okay.
Okay, now that was the detective calling me back.
Let me know if the audio is working properly.
He says, I asked him basically if Michael, if he could tell me that whether or not Michael is considered a danger to Sophie. His answer was, I can tell you this much. I can't give you a lot of information because it's an open investigation. And she is entered into the official database, national database, as a missing person. But he said, I can tell you this much. As far as him being a danger to her, we do not have enough to issue an Amber Alert yet. He did not meet the requirements of what it would take to release an Amber Alert. So that tells me that they don't necessarily feel that he is an immediate danger to her. But I asked him what we as the public can do to help their investigation. He simply said, obviously, if you are aware of their whereabouts, make sure to call any local law enforcement agency, because she is registered in the national database as a missing person. So that's all we can go on, folks. So obviously, yes, she's missing. So yes, obviously, you want to share her picture, and what we want to do is not do anything rash. We want to control ourselves. We want to control the gossip. We want to control the speculation. Simply, if you happen to know the whereabouts of Michael or Sophie Long contact your local law enforcement agency. And that's it.
Okay. I have no idea what that was. Don't even look at that. So the audio was working? Okay. So 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 according to Will, he said when he spoke to the detective that, and just to add to listen to it again real quickly because I was missing parts of it while I was typing out something else, is apparently he didn't meet. So Michael did meet the requirements for an Amber Alert to be released because there wasn't the level of danger. And again, this is coming from a source who is close to Michael. So take it with a grain of salt. Verify the information on your own if you'd like. I'm giving you what I have. So if you believe that or not, go for it. I can understand that. I don't think Michael would hurt Sophie. I think if we look at the law, if it was actually, oh, come on. Okay, so my stupid text thingy got done OCRing my document. All right, so let's do that. Now there are a couple. All right, let me go ahead and highlight a couple things in here to help make this easier to find and understand. So highlighter, and let's get some colors going here. So I'm just trying to highlight the headers so it makes sense. Let's see here. Why is it so goddamn? All right, here we go. I think this is a section that would apply the most to what's going on. Is section 262, 1015. It says, it's titled Removal of Alleged Perpetrator Offense. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure it's not the only section with this information in it. Then there's also another section called Section 262-107, standard for a decision at initial hearing after taking possession of a child without a court order in emergency. The court shall return the child to the initial hearing. Let's see here. That's a long fucking chapter section. It's like 38 pages for this thing. I was focusing on that substantial risk thing. Let's see. I think that they would use that language. And again, I don't know. And I don't get the impression that Michael has abused Sophie. I think he's been, and if he pulled that off and she reacted the way she did and is able to go out into public and have all these interviews and have all these conversations, he's either a master manipulator or he lucked out like a motherfucker. And again, I don't necessarily think that, right? Michael gives me too much of the concerned parent uh, idea to really, fit that particular kind of category for me. It would be likely that because of Michael's psychological evaluation and his behaviors, I'm going to guess that because of that, combined with the fact that it's likely Sophie was sexually assaulted at some point in time, that that is why that designation was used. Again, that's not legal analysis. That's my best guess. Just kind of briefly skimming this section. Uh, let's see. And this is just one section of some of the things that popped up. It was like the first one that kind of used that language. I just don't see how the physical health or safety of Sophie would be in danger in Michael's possession. Again, that depends on what he might have from a mental health perspective. I mean, initially the first judge went hard at Michael, I think, because of him going to the media and everything and then that's the same judge who wanted to censor Michael. I wonder why, because she didn't like the fact that people were coming at her, and then they used they're making threats against the judge to seal the case. No case should be sealed to the media or to public scrutiny. Nick says this constantly. The court is meant to be the public is supposed to be able to watch what the government's doing. I'm sorry, but there are situations like this case where the fact that this is hidden behind closed doors scares the living shit out of me. Because I can't tell what's going on. No outsider can tell what's going on. So say if I'm Michael, right, and I run to the media, or I run to YouTube and I say this is what's going on in court, there's no way for me to back it up with a transcript or a document without being in contempt of court for violating a sealed, court order. I'm under gag basically at that point to not talk about the case in public and provide the documents if I can even get access to the documents. And it's, man, this is just, I don't even know where to start. So is this, no, that's something different. God damn it. Sorry, I'm just trying to Google and find an answer to some of this, but it's so hard to find trying to do this while streaming. So we're gonna go back to let me back out of this. What was that? And all right. So that was so far the information I have on the current updates of the case. Nothing new. That's all old. But that's not necessarily bad that it's old. We can also use the old information to give us an idea of what's going on in the future, right? So this is where we're going to do a deep dive. So let's bring back up that timeline. So we'll first start with the order to transfer venue. So let me bring up my screen again. I hope everyone's still alive in chat. I know this has been a weird back and forth thing today. So let me close this. I'll have to go through that at a different time. Oh, fuck. I should have saved changes on that one. Whatever. Okay. Let me comment. Highlight. Okay, that works. That's better. Also, I did have a question in one of my YouTube comments about where episode 10 is. 10 is still being redacted because of privacy issues on my end. I did have some things pop up that were not supposed to pop up. Not necessarily big things, but just enough that I don't want to not just leave it up like that, because any little bit counts to help protect my identity. All right, so we'll start with the agreed order, and some of this is going to go real quick because none of it really matters overall. So the first part is the agreed order to transfer venue. So we're starting with this part right here. The agreed order for motion to transfer venue. Basically, it was filed. It was the order by the judge. So because it's in the order, basically that they were transferring the case from the old county to the new county. So they ordered the transfer from Collin County, or it's transferred to Collin County. It was in, what county was it in? It was in Como County, Texas, and then it transferred to Collin County, Texas. Also, Collin County, Texas got a nice chunk of my money to get a hold of these documents. So all the pleadings, minutes, orders, all of that was sent, signed on July 9th by the judge in Como County. So that's where that part of the timeline is. So we have gone from that. And then order in suit affecting parent-child relationship. So that's the parenting plan. That was, oh, God damn it. That's not good. That's wrong. Undo. That should have been, there we go. Oops. All right. So order in suit affecting the parent-child relationship. It's also the parenting plan. This one's, I think, important too. So let me pull that up real quick. I just have to minimize the screen real quick as I pull it up, because I don't want my PDF viewer to accidentally show something. I don't want to show something that shouldn't be shown up on the screen here. So, all right. So next file is about 29 pages long. All right. So I'm going to skim through this. Again, this is also a court order. This was, again, the judge making an order. This was what was done on July 7th, 2020. So about a year ago at this point. All right. So Nix is alive, and then Connor's just gardening. All right. So because sometimes chat's very active, and then sometimes chat's quiet. I was just making sure chat was okay. So how big is this banner if I put up? Okay, that takes up too much space. All right. I'll just leave my ticker on for now. Actually, where is my ticker at? Because I think it's in a different folder. Banners. Yep. Okay. How do I even move that to a different folder? Can I? I don't think I can. That's weird. Anyway. Actually, let me pull the ticker back up because I do need that to run. Because it does serve one purpose. It does cover my taskbar. All right. And you don't see the link straight to Pornhub down there. That's good. All right. So this is the, and I'll zoom in a bit too. Perfect. So again, this is the suit being heard. After examination, all persons were cited, blah, blah, blah. Revolving around the case of these guys. So Sophie is this one, and then her siblings are down here. So parenting plan. And so some have argued that if the accusations by Sophie were done as a response to this parenting plan and to the custody case, the jury's out for me. I don't believe that Sophie's telling a lie here. I don't believe she's lying. Her explanations and descriptions of what she says happened sound legitimate to me, and I can't say no to her telling the truth at this point. So the parenting plan orders that Michael and Kelly are appointed joint managing conservators of the following children. So all 3 children, they were appointed joint managing conservatorship. And that together they have the following rights: the right to receive information from any other conservator of the children concerning health, education, and welfare, the right to confer with other parent to the extent possible before making a decision concerning health, education, and welfare, right of access to medical, dental, psychological, and educational records, right to consult with a physician, dentist, or psychologist of the children, right to consult with school officials concerning the children's welfare and educational status, including school activities, right to attend school activities, right to be designated on the children's records as a person to be notified in case of an emergency, right to consent to medical, dental, and surgical treatment during an emergency involving an immediate danger to the health and safety of the children. So basically, this one's just saying if it's an emergency, you can consent. You don't necessarily need to have both parents at the moment, I think, consenting. The right to manage the estates of the children to the extent the estates have been created by the parent's family. It is ordered that at all times Michael Long and Kelly Long, as parent joint managing conservators, shall each have the following duties. So this is mom and dad's job. This is what they're supposed to be doing. This is their duties. Number 1, the duty to inform the other conservator of the children in a timely manner of significant information concerning health, education, and welfare of the children. Duty to inform the other conservator of the children if the conservator resides with for at least 30 days, marries or intends to marry a person who the conservator knows as a registered sex offender under Chapter 62 of the Texas Penal Code, or is currently charged with an offense for which a conviction on the person will be required to register under the chapter. It is ordered that notice of this information shall be provided to the other conservator of the children as soon as practicable, but not later than the 14th day after the date the conservator of the children begins to reside with the person, or on the 10th day after the date of the marriage occurs, as appropriate. It is ordered that the notice must include a description of the offense that is the basis for the person's requirement to register as a sex offender, or the offense which the person is charged. Warning: a conservator commits an offense punishable as a Class C misdemeanor if the conservator fails to provide this notice. Basically, you can get charged with a misdemeanor by failing to let the other person know that you were married or engaged to, in a relationship with, or living with someone who can be registered as a sex offender, like they're being charged with something that would cause them to be or currently is. So you have 10 to 14 days to do that. Don't not do that. Number 3, the duty to inform the other conservator of the children if the conservator established a residence with a person the conservator knows is subject of a final protective order sought by an individual other than the conservator that is in the effect on the date of the residence with a person is established. So basically, if someone, I'm going to sum up some of this. So basically, the parent has to let the other parent know if they live with someone who has a protective order against them. That's not either parent. So like if your boyfriend or girlfriend has a protective order against them because they beat the shit out of their other partner and now they live with you, you have to let the other person know. Right? So that's interesting. Number 4, duty to inform the other parent if the conservator resides with person subject to after 6 days. So even if the protective order expires, within 60 days of that expiration, they still need to be notified. Same thing applies for misdemeanor offense. Duty to inform if the conservatives filed protective order issued after the date the order establishing conservatorship. So if the person got that order before or after the conservatorship started, you still have to let them know. Provide this notice. It's ordered that during this periods of possession, Michael and Kelly Long, as parent joint managing conservators, shall have the following rights and duties: duty to care, control, protection, and reasonable discipline of the children; duty to support the children, including providing the children with clothes, food, shelter, medical and dental care not involving an invasive procedure; right to the consent for the children. Okay. This shit's all kind of boring. But basically, it's establishing that the parents are supposed to be joint parents. I didn't notice any exclusions that said, well, mom can only do this or dad can only do this. Okay, I think that's the part where it says Why is it separate? Hmm. Also, here's an important part. It says, although the parties are appointed joint managing conservators, the parties agree, and it is ordered that if the parties cannot reach an agreement, hold on, my stupid screen dimmer thingy turned on. If the parties cannot reach an agreement as to the above rights and duties, then Kelly Long shall make the final determination on the disputed manner regarding parenting stuff. So basically, Kelly gets final say on if they have a disagreement on how to deal with payments, or how to deal with which school they're going to, or whether or not the child should get medical care. So mom gets the final say. And apparently dad agreed to that. I don't know. Or at least him and his lawyer came to that as part of this agreement. Let's see here. God, I forgot how fucking long this is. Talking about weekend possession, summers, blah, blah, blah. Some of this is boring, right? It looks like it comes down to mom gets final say on disagreements, how much money the kids are getting regarding child support, how healthcare gets provisioned. Like, this is how a parenting plan looks, and this is how one is established. They're a pain in the ass. Okay, my redactions worked. Thank fucking God, because their names and everything was in here. Johnny sub for feet doxing. Well, you guys got a little bit of a ways to go to get me to 1,000. So let's see here. I'm not seeing anything else as far as things go there. But I think I hit the major points on the custody and parent-child relationship agreement. All right, minimizing that. Or actually, let's do this. Back to the timeline. So that was the first one was the order. This was the for the parenting plan, right? So we had the, actually, this is supposed to be, there we go. Then we have the final divorce decree from 2015, which it's just basically the divorce, what they decided in divorce. This all happened, and so this is the important part, right? This happened on July 9th, the transfer. The final divorce decree was added to the record on July 13th as well. It was a little late getting there. And then suddenly, about 2 weeks later, so you have this 2 week span between here and here, where suddenly a petition is filed by Michael Long, the father. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. So this is where dad has some issues. Dad is filing a petition to modify the parent-child relationship. Basically, the document I just went through / skimmed over because something has happened, according to dad. So here we go. Again, petition to modify parent-child relationship. Let me pull up my highlighter from in here. Hide that. So discovery level in this case is to be conducted on level 2 of Rule 190. Parties and orders to be modified. This suit to modify a prior order is brought by Michael Long, petitioner. The last 3 numbers of his driver's license are blah. Last 3 numbers of his social security are blah. Petitioner is the father of the children and has standing to bring the suit. The requested modification will be in the best interest of the children. Oh, look, it's our friend and repeated partner who shows up every goddamn place. Best interest of the children. Welcome to the best interest of the child standard, everybody. Respondent is Kelly Long. The order to be modified is entitled Order in Suit Affecting Parent-Child Relationship and was rendered on July 7th, 2020. The court has continuing exclusive jurisdiction of the suit. The children are subject to the suit. Sophie Long, female, birth date, residence, the other two siblings. Parties affected. Following parties may be affected in the suit. Kelly Long, relationship mother. Oop. Process should be served at. Oh, god damn it. 1 second. I missed something. Uno momento, por favor. I think it doesn't matter at this point because I think they've moved. Pamela, these documents were obtained and released prior to the sealing action of the court. I am also reporting in a journalistic standpoint. None of these documents have been obtained since the sealing of the records. I have evidence to prove that if necessary. I am not violating any law by releasing documents and discussing documents that have already been released prior to, because these have also been posted online prior to the sealing of the record, and trying to silence me post hoc after the fact because they've now sealed it, even though I've already obtained the record. I'm not a party to the case. And when you say this is so wrong, it is so wrong how? What do you mean? I don't understand that question. So let me fix this stupid thing real quick. The fact that the records were sealed after I obtained them is that's an issue for the court to deal with. Summer, these documents were obtained through legal means and legal channels. I have done nothing wrong in the obtaining of these documents, okay? I understand that this is a difficult topic. I understand we're talking about allegations of sexual abuse involving a minor. That doesn't mean that this information is not important to be shared. The fact that we have a court system, our court system is designed to be open and allow for people to question things if they have issues with the courts. Having them sealed does serve no one, in my opinion, because then you have no way to criticize if the court's doing things right or wrong. You have no way to see if the things that are actually happening are in the best interest of people involved. Lisa, if you're interested in jumping on, I'm happy to have you on. I've been trying to get more updated information on this case. I have, like I said, the court documents of this situation from before the case was sealed. I have the information as it was up until that point. Anything after the fact, obviously after it was sealed. No, good egg. I can prove to you that these documents were obtained properly. These documents were released by the courthouse to me. I sent a request to the courthouse with the proper letter for the release of information. The court created a record of the documents to be sent out, and they were sent to me on a CD straight from the courthouse. I did not obtain these through another person, a random party. I obtained these legally through the courthouse. That's the only reason I have these documents and the only reason I discuss these documents. Say Summer says, can you please do better than all the other YouTubers that use this case and exploit a child? That's actually the whole purpose of this. Is I've also done the video. I did a stream a couple streams ago where I talked about and went through the Sophie video, where I went through, and if the people who are, I see we have a lot of people. Real quick, excuse me out. My OnlyFans thing is a joke. Is if you're new to here, the OnlyFans is literally a joke page. It's a running gag from people, from some of my insiders, from people who've known me for a while, from different people I've been involved with. There's actually nothing on there at the moment. It's just literally the page I just reserved. Actually serve no purpose but to be funny. Let's see here. Where is... So let me finish what I was saying this summer. So I did an analysis of the Sophie video. Like I've said before, I am a therapist. I do work with kids. I work with adults. I've worked with people dealing with abuse of all kinds. And I have just been, from the start of this whole situation, from when this started back last year, this has infuriated me from not only a personal level and a professional level, but just as, how can this go down this way? How can you have a situation that people are getting, what's the right way to phrase it? I don't intend to, this isn't for fame or fortune or for money for me, right? I do this because, one, this case points out lots of issues, right? It points out issues with our legal system. It points out issues with how parents are being assigned custody, whether they should or not, how the court has abused and manipulated its own power in this case. For example, back originally when they tried to silence people through the court system, when the judge tried to silence people through the court, that was an issue of its own. And the biggest issue is the people who suffer the most in this are the kids. I've been a guardian ad litem, and the kids suffer the most in any of these processes. I hate that this happens, right? This is not something that ever should happen, nor should a child ever have to deal with sexual abuse or any kind of abuse. Worse is, should a system that is designed to help the children, it should not be done in such a way that hurts the children, right? Apparently this is not helping, as it sits right now. This case has been so up and down, and I can't imagine the level of turmoil that this case has gone through and what it's done to the kids. And the kids have been the ones who have suffered. So let me see if I can, where the hell is it? Say, as far as I'm trying to multitask here, as far as some of the people in chat asking me to prove with screenshots where I've obtained the records, I don't have the CD at hand. I've rearranged my office. I can prove that I have the original documents because I can tell you the original documents have the naming scheme for the original documents is really fucking weird because it uses a hash name. It uses a file hash. I think it's I don't think it's an MD5. I think it's an SHA1 hash. That's part of the file name. Whenever I received them on the CD, as you would see the file name, and then there was this long SHA1 hash that followed the file name, and then your .pdf. Those were the original ones. I have that damn thing here somewhere. I've been doing some reorganizing in my office. If it's that much of an issue, I will do my best to obtain my original CD and prove it. I did originally call the courthouse, asked them how to get a hold of the information. So, real quick, the court did get a CD to me that fast because I paid for overnight shipping to get the request of information to because so here's how it worked. So let me pull up my list of documents. Also, to be clear, is I have gone through and I've only been discussing, and I made a mistake. I'll be the first person to own up my mistakes. As I have gone through and I have been redacting personal information. I missed the birthdays and shit on this one. I am fixing that. The document is staying behind closed doors until then. I will pull my stream down afterwards and I will censor that as well. I have also stated before that even going through these documents, I am censoring anything relating to specific details as far as the release that shouldn't necessarily be out there, that don't need to be, you know. See, Crystal Ann, also requesting proof of my profession is one, the first time I ever talked about someone on the internet about a year or so ago, just as a general discussion, and it wasn't even meant to be, and just like this, it's not meant to pick sides, it's not meant to be harassing, it's meant to be an informative discussion. I had a comment in discussion on the topic of someone's behavior, and I analyzed it, and I said, hey, this is what I think's going on. Immediately, that person wanted to dox me. They literally posted they wanted to get me fired. And you know what? I love my job too much to not want to get fired over something stupid. Even so, I'm still holding to my professional ethics. I'm still trying to maintain the big, I'm trying to balance the importance of sharing this shit with the privacy. Trust me, my heart weighs heavy to be on this stream right now. My heart, ask anyone in this stream who is a regular viewer of mine, who watched that stream with me. I cried during the Sophie stream going through the video because listening to it hurts my heart. I've had people come and tell me about their sexual abuse. I've had people come and tell me how their mom beats them, how this and that happens. And it doesn't get easier, but I have no problem working with those people because they need help. As far as someone had mentioned, also Good Egg says, which courthouse? It's the Collin County Courthouse. I sent a letter to their, because I called what was it? I bought a new computer in January, and obviously I requested the records before then. And so some of my old documents are still on that computer. But I requested a record from the Collin County Courthouse because that's where the case was residing at the time. And I talked to the clerk of courts. The clerk of courts said to get, because the records are not online, you could only see that when you would go on their website, you could only see that, here's the file name, and here's like the brief summary they may post, but the documents aren't online because it's like this. You can, and it's not just this case, but any other case, a lot of times there are certain documents they won't put online, but you can go to the courthouse or do a records release and have it mailed to you if you're willing to do that. But whenever this happened, because I only have documents dating to, where the hell is it? 1 second here. Because the latest documents I have date to mid-September, I think, or early September, because of all the things that happened. I think September 11th is the latest document I had, because I sent my records request in right after that, basically. I sent the records request in overnight, and I sent the prepaid envelope overnight to come back so I could get the documents back within a couple days, because I wanted to obtain them as soon as possible. I was willing to spend what was almost $100 to do, right? And someone is, Gabby is saying that's a lie straight from Michael himself. I have no idea who Michael is, as far as I've never met him. I've never talked to the man. I have no contact with anyone directly involved with this case or even tangentially involved. The closest I have is I've talked to a friend from one of the other YouTubers I watch who knows Will, who I know is a friend of Michael's, who said I could reach out to him to talk to Will as far as to get some information and perspective. I have yet to do that. This is all on my own. I'm doing this by myself. I have no connection. I'm trying to do my best to be impartial. And I want to do my best to balance the sensitivity of the situation and it's a conflict of this is a difficult situation. You're talking about very personal and fucked up things that are going on. Pardon my language. But you also have a situation where people, and I've watched both sides of this as far as videos go. One of the things I admitted to early in the stream was, yeah, I got upset when I heard that, someone, a different YouTuber had said something about mom had done everything right. No, mom has done things wrong too. Neither parent comes out of here smiling pretty. Not everyone comes out of here covered in mud. And that's not the way this should be handled. If you're in a situation like this, the last thing you need to be doing is putting your kid in a situation that causes them harm or is making it worse. And both parents haven't helped this situation. I will give you that. Neither parent is guilt-free in what has happened here. I believe Sophie, as far as the allegations go, her reaction, her level of social interaction with the caregivers in that car, the way the disclosure went from being vague to slowly working its way up, the way in the language that was described to the language that was used to describe, her vagina, the way it was used to describe, the level of assault, like those things are the statements of a 9-year-old. Those are not the statements of an adult. Those are phrased the way a 9-year-old would say things. Those are phrased in the way they were released by her, were done in a way that would be expected of a child to do in that situation. Her emotions going up and down in that vehicle are the way they would have if a 9-year-old had done it. Excuse me, I need to take a drink real quick. But that doesn't mean that mom and dad haven't had their own fuckery involved in this as well. Also, excuse me, I'll ask if I have my own children, how would you feel with a random man on the internet putting out very specific and sensitive information on your child? So here's the thing. How I feel and how I feel about other people's rights are actually two different things. So I may personally not like it, but I can respect it's someone else's right. If they feel though my case with my family involved newsworthiness and should be discussed, I may hate it till the day ends. I may hate it till, the end of time. But it's such their right to do so. It is part of living in a free society. Is you give up certain things, you give up comfort, you give up security for freedom. It would be more secure to know that those things about my kid wouldn't be talked about. I'd feel more comfortable at night knowing, oh, someone's not talking about this online. But someone brings this up if they feel it's probably newsworthy. This case is taken off because it is newsworthy. It is worth discussing. At the end of the day, the person who matters the most in all of this is Sophie and her siblings. The fact that this is going down the way it is, and the fact that, I don't even know how to phrase it in a way, because like I seethe with anger every time I think about how this has gone down. When I think about how Sophie has suffered in this. And I don't even know where to start and how to handle that, right? It's frustrating as shit. And 1 second. But this is something that is necessary to discuss. This is something that does need further analysis. It's not something that should just get shoved under the rug. I've seen personally what happens when when the court's abuse against parents and against children has been left unattended and unaddressed. You know, it's not something that, you know, it's not something that needs to happen. It's not something that should happen, but it's something that maybe must happen. Let's see here. Let's see. I can tell that there's people upset by what's going on. I could see that the chat there's some controversy in chat on this topic. I can see there's a couple people who feel as though Sophie was coached, and from my professional experience, it doesn't appear to be the case. I don't. She may have suffered several different things under her father, parental alienation, but for a sudden abuse complaint to come up would be and have been kind of led into her, and kind of, been given to her over and over and over and over again. It would be very hard for her to do that properly for 9 years old. Excuse Mal said, how can you make a professional judgment on this if you haven't actually met with her or analyzed her? Excuse Mal, if you've watched any of my shows or if you're familiar with me, you can ask anyone in my chat. Is I always tell people I am not anyone's specific counselor. I have not met the people. I'm giving my opinion on it, which I'm allowed to do, which my board of ethics and all that allow me to do. I'm allowed to discuss things as long as I specify that they're not my patient, they're not my client, and I haven't met them, I haven't analyzed them. I'm giving my opinion based off of the information I have. If there's more information out there, I'll be happy to take it in and review it. But Sophie's, like I said, I feel both at my heart and from a professional level, Sophie's telling the truth. One, child accusations of sexual abuse or any abuse being false are very low. You're talking a low number. The way the abuse is characterized, that is something a child would say. The way she changes her emotions, those are things that are hard to coach, though. You can coach a child to say, so and so touched you, so and so touched you. But to describe it and to see, it's more than just the words. You can watch what Sophie does. You can just listen to what Sophie says. But then so cut out the video, just listen to what she says. Then you just watch the video, then you can add them together. There's more than just the words being said by Sophie. Communication is not just the words. It's the inflection, it's the tone, it's the body language. Her body language, her emotions, her reactions are of a 9-year-old girl. They're not the speech of an adult. They're not the speech of someone who is. And again, if there's information to prove me wrong, please provide it to me. If you have links to information or documents, please let me know. I have no problem discussing the opposite. And I understand if people are upset with me, and if you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. Mass reporting me doesn't solve this situation. Mass reporting me doesn't help. Also, Tina says this guy's not under gag order. That's correct. I have no gag order against me. So I am not under the purview of the court. I'm not a party to that case. It would take a lot to actually silence me on this case. So either way, all the parties involved have made a lot of mistakes. I have never given Michael a clear pass. Michael has made his mistakes. He's made a lot of mistakes. And if you were here before the big influx, I have said that Michael's behavior with taking off with Sophie is wrong. I could see why he would do it. It's absolutely the worst thing you could do to help your case. I understand people are upset. You're free to come in here and comment and free to participate. I'm happy to. Also, yeah, I'm Ken Jennings. It's in my name. It's the name that's on the court thing. Feel free to use that if you need it. Let's see here. I'm still trying to catch back up on chat. Pausing for a moment. Say, give me one moment. I do need to pause real quick. I'm going to go on mute for a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. I had to handle a phone call thing. Uh, tis life. Um, Also, Lisa had mentioned something about any documents after January 2021 are under the court seal. I have no document dating after January of 2021. Therefore, I am within fine. I have no gag order against me specifically, so I'm good. I have no legal exposure at this point. I'm not a party to the case. It's not like I can just be. It's not like you could just prevent anyone from giving. Uh, a court can just blanketly give an injunction like that against everyone to prevent them from speaking. I would need to be related to this case somehow. So I appreciate if you are legitimately concerned, even if it is potentially misguided on the issue. But even if the records were sealed, I received the records prior to sealing because someone else said the records were sealed prior to January. Either way, I have the records. They were obtained directly from the courthouse. I did not obtain them through any illegal or illicit means. I specifically did that on purpose. And two, at the time when I requested the records, no one had the records. Everyone wanted the records. There's also a public listing of the records right now, too, because other people, I think, also obtained them and posted them. I have my own. Again, I'm trying to catch up on chat here, so I apologize. So, and I get that people disagree with me, and I understand you may not. But just because I haven't met with her doesn't mean there aren't some things that, you know, don't involve, what's the way to phrase it? There are specific things that have happened with this, with Sophie and with other people involved that doesn't mean that Sophie's not telling the truth here. She could have been coached, but that doesn't mean she's necessarily lying either. Like, she could have been coached, and her dad could have been trying to get her to diss on her mom and to throw mom under the bus, but that doesn't mean that she's necessarily lying either, right? Is That's the freaking way to phrase this. It's a really, sometimes it's very hard to, tried to click on the wrong thing there. Trying to juggle a couple things here. So excuse me as I try um to manage some of this. It's a lot of comments. It's a lot of people here. And for the people who are joining us, I have been trying to, juggle this issue and to juggle these discussions. How do I? There we go. That's what I was looking for. Like I said, I have no problem with people taking issue with what I'm saying or having, and I understand that. I know Tina, the records were sealed months before. I obtained the records prior to the sealing. I could not have received a CD from the courthouse if I didn't request the records from the courthouse. I don't know Michael personally. I don't know anyone in that family personally. I don't know anyone who would have given me the documents anyway. I'm effectively a nobody in the big picture. I get people don't like what I'm saying. Gabby says, "Do you have documents from Como County?" No, I didn't know there were any from 2017 on that topic. But you know what? I will do this. I'm making a note to myself to see if I can get those records. Because if that's the case and Michael was doing that, then that's an issue. A parent shouldn't be making those accusations. That is a problem of itself. but that still doesn't prove Sophie wrong. I think people are struggling with the idea that it's possible for both Sophie to have been abused, but it doesn't mean that dad wasn't trying to coach her either. You know, Lisa, my goal isn't necessarily to. I'm not trying to exploit Sophie. This isn't an exploitation of Sophie, right? I'm sorry if it's coming off that way to you. I am not doing this for fame, fortune, anything like that. I'm doing this because I see a situation where a lot of wrong happened, and it's important that people see that these things happen, and that not only is this an issue with parenting, an issue with the court system, and an issue with how people handle these discussions in general. Right? There's multiple ways that this has faults with it. There's multiple ways to address these faults, but you can't address them if you don't know what's going on. So, let's see. Say, Summer says we have a phone tree to Kelly family. It's quick, and here's the thing. I don't know the parties. I've said that. I hold to that. I have no problem saying that. Regardless of whether or not you guys are supporting Kelly, people are supporting Michael, I don't care about either of them. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I only care about Sophie. Whatever is best for Sophie. Because whatever has gone on, it's clearly not been okay. It appears to be fuckery coming in a couple different directions. So it is what it is. I am sorry that, let's see. Again, if I pause for a moment, I'm just trying to catch up with chat. There has been a lot of messages. So, and I am trying to take time to read everybody, and I'm trying to make sure I'm kind of up to date with what everyone's saying. So, Lisa, that's the thing is the more you try to suppress the issue, the more people are going to talk about it. We live in a, whether you like this or not, and it's not meant to be come off like a dick, right? I don't know you. You sound like a good person. You sound like you have very good intentions, right? And that's just from the interactions I've seen with you. You know, I could see from your YouTube profile picture, you have a family. I would assume that your family, you have your own children, and you seem to be doing your best to help look out for another child. You sound like a good parent. Just from that, right? You may not like me. You may not like what I'm doing, right? You may not like my profession. You may not like other people doing the same thing. I don't do this to make money. Yeah, a couple people support me, but I don't really get much from it. I'm negative every month from what I do here between StreamYard paying for that and other things. I'm not here to make money, especially on this. I don't care about this on making money. This is about, one, I want Sophie to be found. Michael took her against court order. That's not okay. Michael was court ordered to turn Sophie over to her caregivers. That should have happened. The fact that it didn't is a problem. That should have happened as well. Michael was done wrong. That is bad. But the more you try to suppress the topic, the more it's going to grow up. The more and more people are going to get involved. I would love to have conversations with authoritative sources on this issue. I would love to speak to the sources who are there on the front lines on this issue, because obviously you're going to get your best information from there. Still, you're going to get biased information, whether it's from mom or from dad or from this or from that. Yeah, it's going to be biased. That's what any argument is. That's what any debate is. There's going to be bias. You're going to have people leaning one way or the other. I'm doing my best to maintain neutrality as far as the parents go. I don't believe either parent's perfectly in the right here. I believe both parents may have been may have felt like they were acting in the best interest of their child, and that they may have made mistakes. There's a lot of nuance to this case. I mean, the documents I have, the documents I requested, the total number between, let me see here, all these. So those 71 files is 67 megabytes. And then these ones are, where the hell is it? I think the original CD was like 100 and something megabytes. It was a huge fucking CD. And that's just the, so like it was about 100 megabytes worth of documents. Then you had like a few dozen megabytes with like clerk of the court notes and other bullshit notes and stuff in there that are whatever. It's, you know, and sorry if my voice is, I know people are making jokes against my voice. It's going a bit, I am talking a lot today. I'm trying to respond. I'm also, so here's what, Lisa, here's what I'll do. If you were free tomorrow, I would love to have you on the show. Again, open invite. I don't want to today drop my link in the chat. One, because I'm running out of time. I have to get going for today. But you do sound like you are related to or close to this situation, and you would be a great person to talk to. I would love to hear your input on it. I would love to get your side of it. I do think it has been an issue that there has been a lot of things weighted more towards Michael. We only have a lot of one side of the story. We have a very biased view of the story. I still hold my view that it appears, based on my professional experience in training and education, Sophie appears to have dealt with some sort of sexual abuse. Whether that was from mom's boyfriend or someone else, again, I have no idea. I'm going off of a best guess. Either way. And Faith smiled. The thing is there's no such thing as an unbiased person in this issue. The moment someone reads an issue, they're going to take a side, whether they want to or not. Welcome to cognitive psychology. Welcome to the mind, the way it functions. You will lean one way or the other unintentionally. Just like with juror selection. People lean one way or the other when it comes to juries. They don't intend to. They want to go in unbiased. They may lean to supporting the state. They may support the defendant and think he's innocent. You get an automatic assumption at the back of your mind, whether you want to or not. Your brain is very good at making automatic decisions. It's designed that way for a survival perspective. Squishy, I'm sorry that you have an issue. I do have a master's degree. I went to a school that's accredited in the field that I work in, through the overarching national agency that does the accreditation for my specific field. And Lisa, here, before you leave, let me do this. My email, I'm going to put my email in the chat. I want you to send me an email. I will send you a link to a stream for tomorrow if you're open to that. I will be happy to have you on the show. I think depending on whatever availability works for you, I normally start between 11 and 12 Eastern. So my goal is to start between like 11 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. If you're open, please shoot me an email. I'd be happy to talk to you, to have you on the show. I want people to, I get that people are upset with me. I get that this is a difficult topic. And Gabby, I am trying to talk to, I just reached out to Lisa. If Lisa left before she saw my message, if someone could send her a message or contact her with my email, please do. I will happily have her on the show. If someone else has information or documents that I don't have, please send them to me. If anyone has other sources or screenshots or anything, please send them to me that I might not have. I have done my best to try and get all the information I can together. It has been a lot to deal with. One, because it's a lot to just sit here and go through. Just reading this shit and reading these allegations and watching the video with Sophie, it's never easy. And if Michael is the person to abuse Sophie, then Michael is the person to abuse Sophie, and he should suffer punishment from that, regardless. Also, I ended up modding someone because I am not able to manage and juggle all this stuff. I asked my mod to try and let people speak. Please don't do anything that would violate YouTube terms of service or anything like that. Also, I modded that person because they are a longtime viewer of my show. They are also a participant on my show occasionally, and they are someone I do trust. They have every right to cuss at people if they like to. You have every right to cuss at me, to scream and yell at me. The only thing I ask that you do not do is violate YouTube policies or break the rules or break the law. So no posting anything in chat that would break the law or would break YouTube's policies and obviously severe light. Summer asked, how can I get in touch with you, Ken? What form of social media do you prefer? So I put my email in the chat. I can post it again if you need me to. Also, so it's on the ticker at the bottom. So I have a Discord. You can send me a Discord message or you can send me an email. Those are the ones I usually chat on. I also have, let me also edit my ticker to have my Twitter on it. I don't use my Twitter as much because I'm trying to use it more. Let me correct that because I have a couple other Twitters. It's just and so here's my Twitter if you prefer to reach out to me through a DM on Twitter. So here's my rules with people reaching out to me, right? Or talking to me. This applies to anybody. I'm happy to have a discussion with you. I'm happy to talk to you as long as you're willing to have one in good faith, right? If you're going to come in and attack me and try and throw me into the bus, I mean, I came on, people jumped in here suddenly and people were automatically trying to figure out all those things about me, possibly to get me fired, to get me to lose my job. Also, Twisted, quit timing people out if they're trying to have a discussion. So, Twisted, if people are doing anything that is, I don't want to silence any oppositional speech. People can speak here. I'm sorry if that's happening. I'm going to give another person a wrench. I just popped on. Someone mentioned that there was some stuff that needed modded in chat. So I gave it to them. I'm also giving another person I trust a wrench. So Colonel's getting a wrench for now too. So please be nice on that. So as long as no one's doing anything bad, then they can stick around. Please, Lisa, if someone can let Lisa know if she didn't. So Cindy says, disrespectful comments are telling you stuff, but people can disagree and not get ugly about it. So I have no problem if people disagree with me. You can disagree with me all day. You can be nasty towards me. I'm fine with that. Don't be necessarily nasty towards other people. I'm more likely to listen to you, though, just as a general perspective, is if you're more, as nice as you can be about it. I can get being frustrated at the idea that you don't like what's happening right here and you're wanting to do something about it. But, attacking me or people trying to come at me, that's a different thing, right? You can do it, but you're not helping your case, right? So I am asking for people to be more, for mods to be a little bit more, to kind of back off a bit on the mod stuff here. Just like I said, please don't do anything that would be a violation of YouTube terms of service. I don't care if you make jokes. I don't care if you make fun of me. I don't care if you call me a hack. It is what it is. Someone called me a wish version of the Psych Guy. I already addressed the topic of the Psych Guy earlier. Nice Ice Nine. That is absolutely welcome here. I am open to information. I'm open to more discussion on this topic. Please feel free to have that discussion with me. If you want to participate tomorrow too, I'm going to be streaming about this tomorrow. Likely start around 11 since it's probably going to be a long stream tomorrow. So I'm looking at 11 a.m. Eastern for my stream tomorrow. That's the aim. I am please, if someone can get in touch with Lisa, if Lisa is not here anymore, to let Lisa know that. So also, Lisa, I have been reviewing them. I apologize if anyone was timed out incorrectly. I'm asking my mods to back off. And you know what? That is absolutely correct, Lisa. Or Lisa, however you pronounce it. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, right? I think people are just very passionate about the case after falling for over a year. Yes, you were absolutely correct. You were so correct. I am passionate about this too. Not because I care about either parent, because I care about Sophie. And when I see a child in distress like that, whether it's her own, and so taking a neutral spot for a moment, either A, because she's been assaulted, B, because she's been coached, still that looks like she's under distress because she's having to deal with it because apparently she was told, assuming that she was coached and that she was threatened to not be able to see her dad anymore, and still she has to tell the story. That's not okay because that's causing psychological harm. And I can't tell you how many sessions of counseling I got to do with people to undo that. C, she's under stress in general because of all this, because she's playing middleman. I mean, there's just so many. Either way, Sophie is suffering at the hands of this. It's at the center of this issue. I have no problem with people being passionate. I get it. I get it. And if you've noticed, maybe my mods took that hammer and then maybe they went a little bit hardcore on it. It happens every time people get power. So I get it. No one, I apologize for that. I'm sorry if that's the case, right? But what matters now moving forward from all this is how can we have this conversation in a manner that doesn't involve everyone losing their shit over it, right? Can we have a discussion that's neutral, or at least as neutral as we can expect on a topic like this, right? I don't want everyone to hate each other. I don't want everyone to, feel attacked. The goal isn't to have that. The goal is to be able to discuss this. This is such an important discussion to have. You have a child who's going through a stressful situation, whether she was abused or not. And oh, 1 second. Okay, sorry for the delay again. I'm back. So where this wow chat took off while I was gone. I was gone for like a few minutes. So and Twisted here is right. Michael fucked up and like likely lost Sophie forever with this stunt. I know that. So Donald Trump says you want us to recap everything we've uncovered in 10 months for you. So here's the thing: is if yes, if you want me to be informed, as you say, if you have links to the information, if you have a source of information I can go to, please provide it. I can't just Google it like people say, because I can Google it and get shit biased one direction or the other. I can Google shit about this case and find stuff that supports all of the things Michael says and none of the things Kelly says. Or I can Google it and accidentally phrase it in the wrong way and get everything supporting Kelly's statements and nothing supporting Michael's. That's why, if you want to share your side of it, you have to be able to, back it up. That's why I'm trying to back up my part of it with, if people watch my other stuff, I back it up with documents. I pull up the DSM and review DSM criteria with people for diagnostics. I go through how I would diagnose someone. I go through how I would treat people in those situations because they matter. They're helpful and important. So, yes, I'm happy to learn more, Donna, but I need to know the information from somewhere. I can't just assume that I'm right. I'm guessing I'm kind of close. I'm guessing, the court is trying to do its best uh, to be as impartial as they're supposed to be. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, the court kind of fucked up in the beginning. So, and I don't like an echo chamber. Also, what is what is going on with the mods that if I have to pull mods ship, I will if this is becoming an issue. But Donna, if you're willing to provide the information, my email's in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. I'll post that stuff I'll post that in the chat too. If people want to reach out to me, let me also post my Twitter. Let me post my Twitter too. This isn't necessarily. So Donna, I know you guys have been discussing this for almost a year. After the case went after the court case sealed and none of the documents were able to be accessed and obtainable, a very important source of information went away. As much as I may not like the court does have its purpose in providing access to the information, and it does give not only both sides of it, but orders on it, other independent experts on it, things like that, right? There is a purpose to it. And I can't just, I have had a lot of shit go on the last year. I've switched jobs. I work for a new agency now. The new counseling office I work at, it's a private practice. We have a lot of practitioners there. I've had my client load increase. Being able to stream the 2 times a week I try to do adds a hell of a lot of extra stress to my life. But I do it because it's also fun. That's why I do it. But I have had limited time to do things over the last year. I have tried to keep up with things. Things went dark for a long time. The Facebook groups I was in originally, a lot of them got removed. A lot of them got yeeted. They turned into kind of shit throwing fest back and forth. It was really hard to figure out what is actually going on. Like, people were just throwing shit out there. What didn't make any sense. And how am I? I can't necessarily. What's the word for it? I can't necessarily just find the information randomly and hope that I'm right on. If you have a like a thread on Reddit or Twitter or Facebook or something that provides helpful information on this, that provides a good place to start to catch up on the things I've missed since September of 2020, please provide it. But just telling me to go, oh, I just need to catch up, that doesn't help. So also, 5 simple words. It's a cool day. Congratulations. It's for the children. Blows my mind. Be honest, 9 times out of 10, the parents are for themselves, and the kids get the brunt of the drama. And that's the sad part of the system, is the kids do get fucked over a lot in the process, and it's not okay. Whatever happens with this case, Sophie needs therapy, her siblings need therapy, mom needs therapy, and dad needs therapy, and the family as a whole needs therapy to address whatever the hell happens, whatever ends up happening after Sophie's found. I want Sophie to be found unharmed. I want dad to, he obviously broke the law. He broke a court order. He will have to suffer from that. That was his decision as an adult. If he's suffering from a psychiatric or a mental health issue, then that's his to deal with. I'm sorry that that's going on for him. If he's dealing with his own shit, he's dealing with his own shit. It needs to be dealt with. You can't let mental health shit just go unattended and go on like nothing's happening. We will be continuing this discussion tomorrow. I'm hoping Lisa's able to jump on. If someone has access to Lisa's contact information, please let me know. Or reach out to her. Again, I'm reading chat still. If I'm pausing for a moment, I've got to wrap it up here though in a few minutes. I gotta go get dinner, pick up dinner. So, Liza says, I think the courts have failed this child. I think you're absolutely correct. I think we can almost all agree on that. Whether you side with mom or dad or with Sophie, or with nobody, or with everybody, the courts have failed this in general. This turned into such a clusterfuck. Caused so much damage, so much harm, so much impact on people's lives. And I think that's what gets missed at the end of the day. Yes, these are people's lives. I know Lisa was upset with me because I'm talking about this. I know people are upset with me because I'm talking about the documents. My job isn't, and my goal isn't to hurt people's lives. My goal is to help other people down the road. The harm that's been done is done. But there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this case that could help a lot of other people. I've had discussions on this stream and other streams about how we can reduce childhood sexual abuse through different new therapeutic means potentially that are very controversial, but I feel like, and I think that there's going to be research eventually that will back it up, that will help reduce overall incidence of abuse. I don't want people to be abused, not only kids, by family members or strangers, but by the courts, by agencies who deal with things wrong, by school systems who leave kids behind. None of that, no kid deserves that. Kids are innocent. They have no choice to be brought into this world, yet they're forced to deal with it until they're an adult. Why should we make them suffer at our hands or the hands of the government or the hands of some school, the hands of some CPS agent or anything like that? It's not fair. The least we can do is try and make it a little bit better for them, put resources in place, put treatments in place that help the people dealing with real shit. Help the person who physically abuses their kid not to do it again. Because even the kid that's being physically abused still loves his mom. That was one of the hardest phone calls I ever had to make as a counselor, was to call CPS on a client of mine who was a teenager, 12 or 13-year-old kid, whose mom was abusing him. And the kid loves his mom, but he's telling me about being abused. And I'm telling him I have to call and make a report because it's a safety thing. Obviously, I have to report it. It's an abuse thing. I have to report it. And even so, still loved his mom. All in the process. Just didn't like the fact that his mom was beating her. Kids have a very strong bond with their parents. You can't just erase. And that was a very unique experience for me as a therapist to see that in person as it was happening live, right? The same applies here. Even if Sophie's being abused by mom, dad, mom's boyfriend, dad's girlfriend, whatever, doesn't mean she doesn't love the people who are involved. those are usually very complex relationships. Kids are very, very interesting from an emotional and relation perspective as far as how they perceive relationships. So I want people to help. I want to help people at the end of the day. That's why I ended up getting in the job I'm doing. I did the things I did before because I liked what I was doing. And they were enjoyable and it was fulfilling. I like what I'm doing now. I like being a therapist because it's fulfilling. When I get text messages from parents or from clients telling me how their day is better, how their kid ends a session and they look brighter and they're doing better than they have all week. I know I'm doing something right. At least something. Even if the rest of my life is a fucking mess, which I'm a human. I'm open to being a fucking mess. Welcome to being human. But we can't not talk about these things, right? These do have to be discussed. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. These are tough, tough things to have that discussion about. No one wants to have these discussions. No one wants to be this deep into someone's life. You think I'm doing this because I'm having fun with it? I'm not. These are complex, intense, very intense situations. Very. One second here. Trying to order my dinner all at the same time while talking to you guys. Technically, my wife and I's dinner, but I'm trying to finish up with you guys. I want to make sure I talk to chat before I finish up and let go for today. And Heather points out a good thing. Kelly Long winning should not have gone against court orders. One court order. Michael's gone against every court order. Yes, they've both violated court orders. You can measure and dole out more responsibility one way or the other. Like who's more responsible, dad or mom or this or that. Yeah, it's doable. It's what's the way to put it? Let's see here. Kind of idea. Sorry, just trying to finish place my order here. My wife's asking me to finish up. So Faith also says, Ken, you're going to get a lot of hate covering this case, but please stand tall. Either way, Sophie needs the help. Thank you, Faith. Love and smile, which is an apt name for the comment itself. So thank you. Jenny says I'm hardcore for Sophie. That is all. I agree. Everyone needs to probably step back at this point and really think about this case. There's a lot to. Also, Faith says, thank you for covering this case. I'll be sure to send you some stuff, and I look forward to watching your next live. Please be sure to go over them. Thank you. Faith, as soon as you get them to me, I will try to review them. If you send them to me today, I'll review them tonight in preparation for tomorrow morning stream. Tomorrow morning / early afternoon. If you are informed on some of the things that I've missed and you would like to participate too, let me know. Send me an email, Discord, Twitter, chat, whatever works. Please let me know. Either way, this is something that needs to probably be. I need to step. If you're this invested in it, right? If you're this, I'm not saying it's bad to be emotional about this and be passionate about this case. I'm passionate about it too. But I'm also not siding with mom or dad. I'm siding with Sophie because Sophie's the one that matters the most. I think people tend to, and that's one of the reasons why things like the guardian ad litem program were created because they were meant to speak for the child, even though that program fucks itself up sometimes anyway. Is the child's voice and the child's wants and needs, they're probably getting missed in the clusterfuck of all this. And that's not okay. That's all. There's no way to, how do you begin to undo that, right? I don't know. It's a challenge. It can be done. Kelly needs therapy because one, she has been kept from her child against court orders, um, as people are saying, then to bring them back together, you should do that in a therapeutic process to make sure it's done properly. Two, if dad has been biasing, as people are saying, the child against the mother, that also needs to be undone in a therapeutic environment. The last thing you want to do is just put the child back in the home and act like nothing has happened. That's the worst thing you can do. In fact, you can make it worse because the child's going back into the home that they've been told that they hate, right? And again, using that for that assumption. I've done, that kind of thing where you do the supervised visitation, you see how the relationship works, you address things as they come up of how the child, if the child has any trauma, if the child has any issues because of relationship issues or things they've been told or taught or instructed to say or instructed to feel about a parent. There's ways that bring those up and correct them and to, let the child take back the decision authority. If it's the child's decision whether she likes her mother or not, that's the child's decision. And that should be her decision. But if it's dad's view coming through the child, then that's different, right? Then that's not okay. Because, we may not like our parents. We don't get to pick our parents. And one second here. Let's see here. God damn it. My phone's messing up. Sorry. See, this is where multitasking is one of the things I fail with. Okay. There we go. Yes. And so I know there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in here who have issues with each side, who have issues with different parties, who have issues with the record. That's okay. But do your best by stepping back and reanalyzing this situation and going, is this the right answer for me? Is this the thing I want out of this? Do I want to have this much hatred? Do I want to feel this jilted? Do I want to feel this upset? And if talking about this is too much and it inspires a level of anger and frustration in you, and like you getting that angry over it, that's a problem. So let me see if I can't scroll back up. There was a Lisa in here earlier, and someone can mention her last name. She said someone stated that she was a friend of the family. She knew, um, she was very close to the mom or something, or she knew information about the case, and she was willing to come onto the stream. I didn't have the opportunity or time to bring her on properly today, but I am fine with her coming on tomorrow. If someone can please give her my contact information, I'm happy to have her on tomorrow. Kelly does need therapy, though, Kate. Every part of this family needs therapy right now, including family therapy. There's a lot to undo. There's a lot of shit that's happened. And it's only fair to everybody, including Sophie, including Kelly, that they actually have therapy because they need it. You can't tell me everyone's gone through this and no one's walked away without any stress or without any hatred or there's no way. You have to be able to process that and move on from it. Even if dad was wrong to do everything and dad's all at fault, it doesn't help mom to be a good parent, to be seething in that hatred, to be living in the past when she's supposed to be taking care of her daughter. There's ways to deal with that through therapy. So I hope that makes sense in that direction. I'm trying to make sure I admit. I know there's a lot. I think therapy. Excuse me. We've disagreed in this chat today. Excuse me. And I know you've been a bit against me, and I know you feel for good reasons. I disagree with you, obviously, for some reasons. But I think we could both agree that everyone would benefit from therapy. So we have agreed on one thing today. I'll give you that. Um, excuse me. I think you mentioned also Lisa is someone to trust as far as information goes and who's close to the source of the information. I think she left before she saw my email. If you or someone else can please give her my email, and if she's available to come on for chat tomorrow, I'm happy to have her on. Open invitation, neutral platform. Not here to be mean or attack. So, Oscar says, I think people in general need therapy. Therapy isn't a dirty word. This is true. Funky says the same. A little therapy for all wouldn't hurt. So, Sean says Lisa should not do that. In my opinion, her being a spokesperson will fuck things up. Sorry. If I may ask, why do you feel that way? If I may ask, I know it sounds very counselor, right? Like a therapist would say, right? Can you tell me about your feelings, right? I get that joke a lot actually in sessions with clients. Um, Particularly one of my preteen clients makes that joke at me. But why do you think they'll fuck it up? And I could see why you wouldn't want a third party being a spokesperson for what's happened. Uh, and I think excuse me also makes another good point that none of us know all the facts, right? Let's see. One of the things they teach you in therapy for PS to remind the child of good times. That's what they did. That's what the grandma did in the viral video. Yeah, so she did do that. But one of the things that happened in that video too is I think she was also, and that's one of the things I took issue with in that video was I feel like in that moment she was more concerned about trying to use that. And maybe that was something she had learned in like a family counseling thing, or she had learned how to deal with maybe Sophie's behavior. But in that video, the way Sophie was handling that, it had gone beyond, Sophie just wanting to not go. It escalated to something else. And I think grandma was still stuck on that. And maybe grandma's learned since then. And I'm happy if grandma has. But in that moment, I will say, and if you watch my video, I was upset with grandma. That was not an okay. She felt very cold to Sophie in that moment. Whether it was intentional or not, it came off that way. And grandma, and Sean says that grandma was de-escalating a child, but she wasn't though. Grandma was trying to de-escalate a child with a technique that works for other situations. In that situation, not so much. That method wasn't working. That situation escalated very quickly and it stayed heated for quite a bit. And even if it didn't stay heated, there was an underlying level of issue that was going on there that, you know, that was not being addressed by the family, right? There was a child who was struggling with whatever she was feeling. And she didn't feel like she was being taken care of. She didn't feel like people were taking her seriously. And I think that's part of the problem. So So let me see here. I'm just trying to make, like I said, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything before I end the show. I have to go pick up food here. I have to leave in about a few minutes. So let me. See. Cindy says, I'm going to subscribe and help you get the smod situation under control so maybe you can bring some peace to this mess. I'm hoping that whatever happens is, people walk away from this with at least something, whether it's education from a mental health, psychological standpoint, whether it's, hey, the court system in my area is fucked off, or I definitely know not how to handle that situation. I want this to, at the end of the day, even if I'm fun or humorous or sarcastic, this to be an educational experience and people to learn something from this. That's one of the reasons I love my job, is people get to walk away at the end of the day with something that's making them better. They either feel better or is doing better. That's all I want. So Cindy, thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate the subscription. Nerd says, I'm sorry I missed so much of the stream. It's fine. I understand. Let's see. No offense, but channels are big enough to affect this case in any serious way? Probably not. Unless my channel blows up overnight because of this, which I don't think it will. Then, what matters is it matters to the people who watch. That's what matters at the end of the day. Is Sophie deserves to hopefully end this situation on a good note, but anyone who watches this hopefully can walk away with, hey, that's not how this situation should be dealt with. That's not how we should manage these kind of situations, or how we should deal with that kind of stuff. Or this is how you deal with this type of situation, or this is how you address that. Those are all things I'm happy to share. I'm happy to provide, give that information, to share that education, that experience, the situations I've had from the different clients I've had, how it changed, how people have changed. So, all right. So let me do one more catch up on the chat. Donna says, good luck, but it's a lost cause. I know, but I'm okay if a couple people walk away from here and they do better because of it. This isn't the only thing I talk about on my channel, though. I talk about fun things. I talk about, I'm humorous in how I address certain things. I've done a couple videos. We've done videos that are very serious, and then watched, like feel good videos like Rescue 911. This is my temporary brief plug for Rescue 911 because I love that show. You get to see people who've gone through some of the worst. Usually the day you call 911 is like one of the worst days of your life, right? Something horrible is happening or happened to you, and you just want someone to come and help you. And having that show have those like snippets into people's lives where it turned out good, and even though something awful was close to happening or something awful did happen, they walked away from it, they survived, they moved on. Therapy is about being able to deal with whatever's going on and moving forward from it. There's no good to sit in it, to stew in it, to live in the past. Sometimes helpful to understand the past. It's sometimes helpful to know why the past things happened, right? That doesn't mean we should just ignore it. There is benefit to it, but you do want to, you want to hear, what the fuck? I was trying to say something and I accidentally saw something and changed my train of thought. You have the potential from any of this information, whether it's a small piece of it to a big piece of it, whether it's a 5-second clip to an hour of this stream, to having it be something you take away. Some of the most important things I ever learned when I was a firefighter was literally off-topic discussions in classes or in training scenarios of, oh, here's this little thing you can do that's very helpful. And that little helpful thing can be the thing that saves your ass. Or, oh, I didn't know I could do this. That's fucking smart. Or that's a better way to deal with this than the way I'm dealing with it. Just like mental health, like if the way you're dealing with it's not working, hey, maybe this thing is something I can try, or I can look into this technique or tool, or I know how to find a therapist or access to a therapist in my area who can teach me these things. I'm not here to be anyone's therapist specifically, and people have actually messaged me and asked me to be their therapist, and I've had to turn them down. I'm not the right fit for you at this rate. Not if you're watching me on YouTube. I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate your interest, but there are people who are closer, who are able to probably see you in person, that you are better suited to see as far as a practitioner goes. And also a few other things too, but that's the main part of it, right? So either way, so Sean says she is biased and it's okay. She can't give you an unbiased party in this. I think you should base your opinions on facts. If you're able to listen to her and make your own decision or opinion, great. And that's my goal, right? So we have seen a lot of Michael's side of it. You've had Michael give his view through his own personal videos, also through the interviews he's done on like 10 to Life and stuff. I have seen those, but I don't think mom's side or the mom's story has gotten out there as much. I'm not necessarily siding with anybody. Like I said, I side with Sophie. I side with what is clear to me, that what's clear to me of, here's how, this person sitting in front of me, is kind of how I handle it. If Sophie was sitting in front of, if I was in that scene where Sophie's in the vehicle and shit, obviously you're missing things with it being on video and stuff like that, not being there. But there were a lot of pickups and tells for me that give it away to me that something's not okay, whether or not it was necessarily the boyfriend abusing her, right? There's other shit going on. So, but I am willing to, I don't necessarily have a side in this. So Gabby says, do you have any education in parental alienation? I did almost 3 years of therapy due to PA of my youngest daughter. I have a little bit of it, but you probably have a very interesting experience with that. First, I'm very sorry to hear that happened with your daughter. That's horrible. No parent should be kept from their child like that, whether you were kept from them or whether it was the other way around, you kept her from someone, right? Regardless of that, sounds like it was you were kept from your daughter. If you're willing to, I would love to actually have you on to talk about that topic, because it's very, one, relatable to this, and two, you sound like you have a great story and a great experience that people would probably love to hear. And that's also one of the things I like to do on this channel is I want people to be able to share their stories as it relates to mental health and their experiences with the shit they've had to go through. And you probably have a very good snapshot of what it's like to be in that situation, what it's like to go through. I was kept from my kid for 3 years. Or I was kept from my kid and I had to do 3 years of therapy. I'm sorry. I was kept from my kid and I had to do almost 3 years of therapy to deal with it. That's a lot. That is a lot. Also, real quick, I'm going back up the chat if people haven't noticed. Excuse Mal says, I tried to listen and step back, and I'm sorry for some of the nastiness I spewed at the beginning. I'm still very wary of some things in this live, but you seem to care about the child. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not here to, as you can see, I'm a small channel. There are definitely ways I could manipulate the stream to get me more viewers and to cause more controversy and to get in the money and to roll in the money if I wanted to. I haven't done that because it does hurt me to watch this video. It does hurt me to read this stuff, whether it's true or not. It's being put on paper and it's affecting people's lives, and that at the end of the day hurts someone. And at the end of the day, it's probably Sophie, right? So Let's see. I know a couple people have mentioned therapy. Therapy is a good thing. Most therapists have seen a therapist or are seeing a therapist. I'm a therapist who sees a therapist. My therapist has a therapist. My psychiatrist has a therapist and her own psychiatrists. Like, it's very common. Seeing a therapist is actually one of the more difficult things you can do in life. I tell everyone who comes to me, walking through that door to come into my office means you have to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable is a situation most people don't want to put themselves in. Also, I do appreciate your apology too, if I didn't state that earlier. So, and I apologize if, I came off in any way that was not, necessarily the nicest. So, but definitely retouching on this, Gabby, if you're willing to come on the show, I'll repost my details here in the chat, just to make sure whatever medium is the most appropriate or easiest for you, feel free to reach out. Also, for people who were criticizing my OnlyFans link in the chat or in the ticker earlier, that's a joke. If people haven't figured that out yet, or if it wasn't addressed, there's a running gag with that because of the name of my show. People will change the middle name of my show to casting, and so it's a running gag. So therefore, the OnlyFans. So just to clear that up in case it wasn't caught earlier in the middle of the big back and forth. Let's see here. So Nerd Tremble says, so she could have been coached in the video. I still find her emotionally feel hard to be fake. So she could have been coached outside of the video and in the video. But it's also possible she was coached and that her emotions were real. Those types of emotions are kind of hard to fake for a kid. When you're trying to fake emotions for something that you've been told to feel versus something you actually feel, like, I feel so sad because this person died. Oh, I'm so sad. Versus, oh my God, my child just died, right? They're two different levels of feeling. And I use that example, even though it's very out there, because it's a big difference between, you should feel really sad because mommy's boyfriend touched you, right? Using that as the example. You should feel sad and then he touched you down there and that it hurt. But the level of emotional, what's the right way to phrase this? The emotional investment and how she was able to go from the discussion and the way she eased into it. And that's something that even I would struggle to fake, right? And you know what? Excuse me, I'll give you that. I'm sure grandma wasn't trying to Christ information. I'm sure she did her best. I think she was trying to do her best, but I can see why people, and I got frustrated too, even in my video. Grandma pissed me off in that video because it upset me. Because you see, I have seeing a child who's very much struggling and she's being dismissive. And that is hard to watch, especially from my point of view. As an outsider or even as a therapist, it's hard to watch someone come and say, imagine someone going to someone saying, well, I'm feeling, someone's doing something horrible to me, and then being told, well, you wouldn't feel sad, and I'm feeling sad about it. You wouldn't feel sad if, because you've been able to do good on a couple other things. You know how many people I have had clients with relation to depression, who you have all these good things in your life, you have nothing to be depressed about. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a conversation about that because that's not how it works. So it's a little bit different to look at when you have the background. It's also different as your average person looking at it. Oscar says she's been brainwashed. She believes it doesn't make it true. Yeah, but I mean, do we have enough evidence to back up that brainwashing allegation? Because that's a strong allegation. And to do that kind of brainwashing to a child takes a lot. And it would show up in more than just the one thing, right? It's hard to do that. children are gullible. Children are not necessarily the smartest in some cases. Children are also very, very predictable in a lot of cases. The way their emotions, the way their behaviors are, the way they speak, how they describe things, they're usually very predictable. And most people who try to coach kids on lies like that, it's really hard. It's really hard to do. And I don't know how good dad is on that, but I would be skeptical of the dad being that good at coaching a child to lie like that. See, but so Ava Lady says the child should an unhealthy obsession with her dad where dad can do no wrong and mom is evil. It's hard to believe she hasn't been coached to capacity. So this is what I was kind of mentioning earlier, is you can have side A where I think people see as an either or, is she was either coached or she was abused. It's possible it's both. It's never just a binary, right? It's possible she was coached on certain things. Maybe she was coached on liking her dad and, dad's great and mom sucks and mom's boyfriends are bad. But it's also possible that she was abused and that abuse intensifies her reaction to something like this. And that's why she may have went so hardcore in the way there's a lot of ways to interpret it, right? But I think people are ignoring the fact that it's possible it was both. It's very possible it was both. It doesn't mean she was necessarily coached specifically on the sexual abuse allegation. She could have been coached on a bunch of other things. Gabe, I'm not sure what you mean as far as that goes. Are you talking about myself or are you talking about me? Because the information I have was not under seal when it was obtained, and I'm also not party to the record, to the case, to be under seal. I cannot be held under contempt or anything like that for sharing the information I have. I'm also protected under the First Amendment as a journalist in this case for discussing it. So I don't know if that's been missed or not, or if you meant someone else. But as far as me, oh, Lisa, okay. I thought you meant me. I was sorry. And, you know, that was, regardless of Lisa's intentions or not, even if she's very biased towards Kelly, it's still an interesting discussion to have with her, whether I agree with her or not. So, Gabby says, the damage my ex did to our youngest took 3 years of therapy to understand. She was only 10 at the time. Our then 13-year-old didn't fall for his tactic. Exactly. There are things that different ages of children respond to differently. Also, Summer says, Ken, how can I reach out to you via email? Yes. So here's in chat again my contact information. Also, Captain Napton says, are you a therapist? I'm sorry if you already addressed this. I arrived late. Yes, I am a therapist. I have a master's degree in my field, and I'm appropriately licensed under the education and training I have. I'm not sharing that because I don't want to get doxxed. Also, Twisted dipped out, so thanks, Twisted, for popping in. I'm about to dip out anyway. Okay, Gabby says, I was never separated from my child. Her dad tried and almost succeeded in brainwashing her to hate me. My ex disappeared for 2 years and popped back up, talking me to court, accusing me of being an unfit parent. Okay. So if that's the case, that's still even more interesting because that was while you still were with the child and then the person was trying to alienate you. That to me is even more interesting. I have a feeling that would be a great discussion to have if you're comfortable enough to share it. Again, if you're comfortable with it, great. If not, I understand, and there's no harm, no foul. So if anyone's interested in jumping on at some point in the future or to come on and discuss things like this, please reach out to me, my email, my Discord. Please follow me on Locals too. You'll get notifications of my show better than YouTube will. Also, yeah, Gabby, that sounds awful to have to go through. Also, Prawn says, I plan on going back and watching anyway, but I don't want to do it while the stream is running. That's understandable. It's gone over the 3 hour mark, so it might not show the full amount when I'm done anyway. Let's see here. I do have to go pick up my food. So thank you for everybody. So Georgia says, so based on your knowledge, how long do you predict that it takes someone to brainwash them? When they're told the same thing over and over. Well, that's the thing is it's not necessarily, I can say a 9-year-old takes 6 months to brainwash. It doesn't work that way. It's also difficult to brainwash certain things. It's very easy to brainwash a child into love and affection for their parent. It's very difficult to convince them of that level of emotion, of an abuse, of an allegation or something like that. That's a lot, right? So also Connor says, thank you for covering the stuff you cover. You definitely made the gardening today very eventful. Also, all Japanese beetles must be exterminated. Yes, let's help Connor with the extermination of Japanese beetles. So no posting beetles in the chat. That will be a bannable offense. Just kidding. But thank you for everyone for participating and joining. I do have to go pick up my food, or my wife's going to kill me if the food comes back cold. I am going to go ahead and end the broadcast for today. No outro today. I'm aiming for 11 o'clock tomorrow for. I'm aiming for 11 o'clock tomorrow for a stream. Again, continuing the discussion, potentially with someone to interview or to have on for the discussion. Either way, thank you everybody for hanging out and participating. Today was the highest amount of viewers I've ever had, so thank you for that as well. Y'all take care, stay safe, and at the end of the day, I wish for Sophie's safe return and for a hopefully safe and swift resolution to this issue for Sophie, and so she can be a kid again. So, also, again, posting my information in chat if anyone wants to contact me with information or reach out to be on the show. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day. Also, make sure you follow me on Ken's Counseling, couch.locals.com. You'll get information there. And if you like the show, you can also support me as well. Everybody have a great day.